Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro, Tom Kokoza, and our very special guest co-host, Brendan Johnston. Jen, how you doing? How you feeling?
Feeling good, doing good. Excited to talk about this episode. This was a doozy, and there's a lot of great stuff here I can't wait to dive into.
Indeed, and I know Tom wants to dive into this episode. So, Tom, what are you feeling?
I said it right before we went on live. Most important episode, perhaps that we've ever done. After 2 seasons, after 13 episodes of the show, people who haven't read the books finally understand why our podcast has the name it has. They finally mentioned Teleran Riyadh on the show.
Yes.
And now people understand that it's not just weird sounds, but it's a semi-clever pun.
We should work that into our like intro or something like that. Maybe we can get Rosamund Pike. Think we could get all of the actors on the show to say Talk Around Riyadh. Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh.
I think over time.
Okay.
But
I think you could probably splice together them saying the words welcome to
Talk.
Rand. My voice is my password.
Yeah.
I always think of the Chipmunk
what does it say?
movie
Verify?
when they do that.
There's one more line.
It's verify me.
Verify me.
My
Right?
voice is my passport. Verify me.
Sorry, Jen.
Yeah. Sorry.
You guys ever see the Chipmunk movie, the Chipmunk Adventure? Anyone?
No,
No?
I don't remember.
Yes.
The cartoon?
Yeah. When they go on the hot air balloons and Alvin splices together a message from Dave to the nanny so that she lets them go. He's like, I want Alvin, Simon, and Theodore to meet me. That's what I always think about. Sorry. That's my reference point.
Brendan, how you doing?
Splicing together.
I'm good, Joe. On the subject of Talk Around Riyadh, I happened to be talking to my mom on the phone this afternoon, and even though I've told her about this podcast dozens of times, she's still shocked when I say I have to do a podcast tonight. And this particular time, she finally asked me what the name of the show was, and I just said no. Nope. Mom, I love you, but we're not getting into that because I don't have another hour.
It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a name.
Talk Around Riyadh. Click.
There's no upside. Yes. There's no upside to me trying to explain this to you.
Talk Around
Riyadh. This is how I still hang up the phone like this.
Yeah.
Big rotary.
That's all you have. It's huge.
One of those,
it's actually a two-hander.
What?
It's got the long piece, right? That's very curved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to be very delicate and put it on top.
Hello?
For all of you out there in podcast land enjoying my physical comedy bit, welcome to Talk Around Riyadh.
Don't worry, you're not missing anything. We're not enjoying it either. All right, so I want to remind everybody, first half of the podcast is going to be spoiler free, no book spoilers, past anything that hasn't happened in the show. And then once Brendan leaves, we will get into our spoiler discussion. And there's a lot of stuff in here. Brendan, I'm so curious to hear what you have to say about this episode, because there was a lot going on.
I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say too.
Yeah. So before we
get into the same reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, of course. It's going to be a blast. But before we get into that, Jen, you have a recap for us.
I do. Here we go. Episode 4, Damane. Written by Rohit Kumar, directed by Maya Vervilo. We cold open on the Shanshan fleet returning to Fam. Lady Surath, accompanied by Alwyn, Ishamael, and their brand new slaves, Loyal and Ingtar, are brought before High Lord Turak, who is pissed that Surath conquered a town that was too far away for them to hold. For her punishment, she is barred from the council until she is once again presentable, and her long fingernails are ceremonially chopped off, which garners a horrified reaction from the assembled Shanshan. The now disgraced Surath is dismissed, and Ishamael takes the opportunity to present Turak with the Horn of Alir, which is carried in by, cue the whistling, Padden Fane. Turak is greatly pleased. Rand and Moraine book it through the woods because they're in a horror movie now. Back up in the cabin, Landfear mutters, bitch. While black dots fill her eyes, she channels black weaves to heal herself, and she is after them. Rand and Moraine find a stable and take off with the horses, along with the female stable master. Before leaving, Moraine kills an extra horse because she is on a throat-slitting roll tonight. Lanfear can't use that dead horse, but she can explode a nice old man's head clear off his body and take his.
Oh, it was great.
That was shocking.
Think about how he felt. I mean,
yeah, well, he probably didn't really know any better. I mean, it's a quick way to die, I guess. Still traveling with Elias, Perrin uses his slowly changing wolf eyes to notice Elias has taken him back toward Atuan's mill instead of after the caravan. Elias tries to tell him his friends and even his wife are not his pack. When Perrin yells, the wolves gather around because they are thirsty for drama. Perrin decides against taking them all on, wise decision, and leaves to help his friends, with Hopper whining as he goes. Rand and Moraine pull the second most popular trope in fiction and hide off to the side of the road as Lanfear rides past. Moraine finally tells him what's going on, re the Eye of the World, and the Forsaken being freed. Rand turns with tears in his eyes. He misses Celine and his life is terrible. Someone hug him. Hopper follows after Perrin and tries to push him back toward Atuan's mill. Perrin sees a vision of Uno dead in a cage and decides to head back to bury him. I mean, Uno literally could not care less about his status right now, but you do you, Perrin. He sneaks back into the town and sees not only Uno's body in a cage, but the bodies of some Shanshan soldiers and a living female Aiel. A man approaches and warns Perrin off from her, although he gives her some water. He tells Perrin he has to stay due to the curfew and brings him to the inn. He recognizes Perrin as being from the Two Rivers. Suddenly, Perrin notices some familiar garb on the other men, and under his new friend's cloak as well. White cloaks. In the inn, Perrin finds out the previous innkeeper followed her granddaughter, who was taken by the Shanshan, but the new innkeeper preferred the Shanshan to the white cloaks. Same. Outside, our old friend, Child Valda, who is still wearing a sling on his arm due to Egwene's backstab, tells the new guy, Dane Bornhall, to stop giving the Aiel water and says he will continue to question her. Dane mocks him about still being afraid of wolves. Lanfear comes across the stable master. We find out Moraine had her take the horses to draw Lanfear off the trail. To make sure she doesn't tell anyone what's going on, Lanfear uses the power to sew her mouth shut. It's better than an exploded head, I guess. Varen returns to her brown Aja friends in the White Tower, Yasika and Naomi. They have some drinks and want to hear what Varen's been up to, but Varen's only interested in meeting these powerful novices she's heard so much about. And Egwene. Well, she'll have to wait.
Ouch. Ouch.
Because Liandrin has the girls with her in the ways. They are knocked out, but Nynaeve wakes up first because she's Nynaeve. She realizes Liandrin broke the 3 oaths by attacking them, and Liandrin tells her that all those Aes Sedai rules are just to keep others from being too afraid of them. Liandrin wanted to recruit Nynaeve to the dark, but Nynaeve says she will never turn, no matter the price. Surath is hella pissed at Ashamael for making her go to Atuan's mill in the first place. She wants to kill Turak, but Ashamael is playing a long game. He knows why Surath swore her oaths to the dark, and suddenly her attitude softens. Ashamael says the last battle will happen in Falm, written in the skies, and the dragon will join them. After seeing Valda, Perrin knows it is time to exit, stage left even. On his way out of town, he frees the Aiel. Her name is Avienda, and her water is his, whatever that means. They're suddenly surrounded by white cloaks, including Dane, but not Valda, because he probably sensed a fight and went to hide somewhere. Dane obviously attended SNL ninja school because he tells them to make sure to attack her all at once, or she'll kill them. Guess what? She does anyway, because she's a goddamn maiden of the spear and she likes to dance. Perrin grabs a hammer and does some damage too. He stops Avienda from finishing Dane off, and they leave. Back in Carrion, Moraine explains the World of Dreams to Rand. Teleronriad, have you heard of it? Lanfear can get them in their dreams. She's kind of like Freddy Krueger in that way. So, no sleeping. You can do that, right, Rand? At Moraine's house, we meet Barthanes Damadred, Moraine's nephew and winner of Best Hair this season. Barthanes is engaged to Queen Galdrian and hopes they can attend their wedding in a few weeks. Moraine and Rand plan to wash up and rest and then ride on. In Shiriam's study, Varen lets Shiriam know that Nynaeve and Egwene are nowhere to be found, as well as Elaine. Shiriam checks her book and sees the girls left to go to Camelin, accompanied by Andorran soldiers, and she can't believe it slipped her mind. When Varen and Shiriam leave the room, Yasika sneaks in and takes a closer look at that sign-out book. Back in the Brown Aja quarters, Yasika says the notation about the girls leaving had a slight tremor in the handwriting. Varen posits that maybe someone was using compulsion on Shiriam. Yasika does not like this idea at all because it means the Black Aja is real. A way gate opens in the forest outside Fam, and Leandrin exits with the still unconscious girls. Surath and a contingent of soldiers with Damane are waiting for her. Leandrin's mad that Ishamael didn't come himself. She hates Surath and what the Shonchan do to channelers. Surath says that all Marath Damane will be leashed eventually. Leandrin mumbles a threat and leaves, but not before waking all the girls. Nynaeve can't channel, so the other two take over, and they try to escape, but Egwene doesn't make it. Aviendha gives Perrin a little Aiel lesson. She says she came looking for their Kara Karn, but now she has tow to Perrin for saving her life, so she will stay with him. They're heading to Vam. Nynaeve and Elaine arrive in the city that night and try to keep a low profile among the patrolling Shonchan guards. However, keeping a low profile is not Nynaeve's strong suit, so the girls get their heads knocked into a wall and they're unconscious again. I'm no doctor, but 2 concussions in 2 days is probably not very good. Varen confronts Leandrin back at the tower, who also conveniently signed out at the same time as the girls for a totally unrelated reason. Varen tells her the girls left for Camelin and, oh no, Leandrin heard of a group of Andorran guards getting attacked. What if the girls are hurt? Moraine rubs her eyes and gazes lovingly at her pillows. As she cleans herself up, she has the closest thing possible to a heart-to-heart with Enver. Moraine says her family and all of Cairhien is in danger, and Enver can tell she has no idea what to do next. She asks Moraine to think about what her biggest problem is, protecting Rand, and whether it's really necessary. A light bulb suddenly goes off for Moraine. As Rand sleeps, we see Ishamael lying next to him in bed, caressing his face. But he knows Rand is really Lanfear, playing in his dreams. She reveals herself, and she's mastered a beautiful smoky eye. They drink together and discuss the past, the other chosen, and their plans. You could cut the sexual tension with a knife. Ishamael says the Dark One only speaks to him because he is the only one who truly wants to stop the wheel. Lanfear only wants the dragon. Ishamael has been working on destroying Rand's friends so that he will break. Outside Teleron Riyadh, a slave awakens Ishamael to attend an audience with Turok. Turok wants to know who Ishamael is and how he has risen so high in the Shonchan court. Also, isn't he the guy who saw the omens that led them to begin their return in the first place? But no, according to Ishamael, only the Empress can see the omens for what they are. Turok says because he brought the horn, Ishamael can ask one thing of him, but he just wants Turok to accept an upcoming gift from Surath in good faith. Nynaeve and Elaine awaken in beds. A man and woman approach them, but it's a yellow sister, Rima, and her warder. He can cuss them for their own protection. Otherwise, they would be where Egwene is, being presented as a gift to Turok. She's in full Damani garb now and is collared and leashed before the court. Rand is hanging with Barthanes when Moraine says, time for bed. Lanfear could have heard him all this time, but she didn't. She loved the dragon, but he broke her heart and she turned to the dark to try to get him back. Rand needs to find out what she wants. Moraine says it's Rand's choice, and she means it, and he decides to sleep. As soon as he's out, he's instantly in Teleron Riyadh, shirtless, strapped to a wheel in a desert. Lanfear sits before him on a throne wearing black bondage gear. This is going to be good. See you next week.
Thank you, Jen. That outfit was startling.
It was. It took me a while to pull the trigger on it, but it looks like bondage gear to me.
Yeah, she's dressed like
Okay.
Dr. Frankenfooter. So
I was like, how do I describe this outfit?
Startling.
Yeah. I don't know.
You were shook.
It's a good combination of bondage with something else. I don't know. Maybe
Jen, curiously enough, my notes also included the phrase exit stage left even. It's just a weird coincidence.
Sometimes I think of a joke and I know exactly who's gonna laugh. Like I knew Tom would laugh at exit stage left. But I knew we always for some reason do exit stage left even, but I'm glad I got other people in on it too. And the SNL. Did everyone think of that SNL skit?
Oh yes, yeah, of course.
what SNL?
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
talking about?
Where it's like, how do we attack? One
Right.
at a time. How
One at a
should we
time.
attack? All at
All at
once.
once.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh my god,
It's
like a
from the,
classic
like-
old one. Yeah.
Like the 95.
it's from the mid-
yeah.
It's like we watched it today. It's like every good comedian in the whole world is in that sketch.
It's like
Everybody
Farley.
good.
It's like the last years are like Farley and
It's like Adam
and Sandler's.
Sandler's like no,
Yeah.
I thought it was like one of his first, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh.
It was like Michael McKean.
Yeah,
John
Michael
Goodman
McKean was on.
hosting.
Later,
Like,
I
that
think.
would-
Myers, whatever. Anyway, it's a good sketch, and that's what I thought of because he's like, make sure you attack her all at once. Not
All
one
right.
at a
So
time.
for anyone interested in
Anyway.
talking about the Wheel of Time,
we are.
episode 5. Or if you really want to hear more about Saturday Night Live, listen to our Saturday Night Live podcast called Brendan.
I already did one. I did.
I don't know. You're good at
Someone
coming up with
else has got to do it.
alternate
Saturday
Sketcher on
Riyadh? That
Riyadh.
sucks. I have nothing.
Sketcher on Riyadh.
Saturday
would say,
Night Riyadh. I don't know.
All
right. Anyway,
talk from New York. I would say.
okay. Let's start with the cold open,
Live from
everyone.
New York.
I'm cutting all of this out of the podcast.
Oh.
You brought it up, man. The
Cold-
cold open, you say?
Yeah, the cold open. We start with the Sean Chen, and I guess we meet the man in charge of the Sean Chen. We thought Soroth might have been in charge, but it looks like she's not in charge. It looks like this guy's in charge.
Yeah, but even he's not in charge because there's an empress.
He's in charge here though. Like I think he's in charge of
There's
this
always a bigger fish, Joe.
mission here. Go ahead, Tom.
I thought this was really interesting. Like his speech about what their purpose is. You know? That like he explicitly says, like, we're here to like
Take
our
over the
goal is to
world.
fight the shadow,
Yeah.
right?
You know what's funny? Did you notice that everyone else in this episode refers to the evil forces as the dark? And I thought, why did they do that? Like in the books, they call it the shadow, and he even uses the term shadow. But then, like Moraine says the dark, Nynaeve says I'll never turn to the dark. It's used like 2 or 3 other times, but they say the dark. Interesting.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that well, hey man, you're not that good at it, but like that's you don't hear any other kingdom like talk like that like the purpose of their existence is to fight evil.
I don't think that's what he said the purpose of the existence is. I think that's what their mission is. That's why they came over.
Yeah,
Like he mentions he saw the sign, like they saw some signs, I guess some omens that said it's time, we have to go over, conquer this land and fight the shadow.
I mean, also the fact that Turok is referring to the shadow and everyone else is referring to the dark creates the possibility that Turok is actually just referring to something else.
Yeah, it's true. I also think it's maybe, we're from a totally different continent that we never really interact, so we have a different name for it. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Ingtar was captured too until now.
Yeah, they hit him very cleverly in that photo.
Yeah, in that photo. And my question was, where are the rest of the Sean Chen? They took Ingtar with them, but they left the other ones.
You mean the Shinarans?
Sorry, Shinarans.
Who's left? Well, there was a bunch of guys. but
Massima.
There was
the
about
only named
4 or
guy we
5
know.
other people left.
And we know he comes back because we've seen a picture of him. But
Well, they expressly say a Ogier and a Shanaran lord.
Yeah,
Right.
That's why these guys are honored slaves.
I know, I get that,
Right.
but where are the
Yeah.
rest of them is the question.
Who knows?
Over
Dead.
there.
Yeah, dead.
in a jail cell or something. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
mining the sea. Who knows?
Mining the sea.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
The aptly names are not appearing in this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can't complain. There's like 50 or 60 extras in this scene, so you can't complain. Like it's like they filled it with people. But I love this like little snapshot of like what Shanshan Royal Society is like, and just like people's like shocked looks at like one at him making Soroth talk for herself, then Soroth insulting him to his face. Like you got all this sense of like what it's supposed to be like and how much out of the realm of what is like normally accepted is happening here. And then it's like I'm gonna cut your fingernails and you can't come back till they grow back.
Yeah.
Learn yourself. Like
And Alwyn's like shuddering at the
She does it a couple of times in this
in
episode.
horror, yeah.
So I have a question because I was right when he makes Sora bow and she puts her fingernails out. She looks surprised that they were cut off. Did she not expect that to happen? And if not, why did she put her fingernails out like that? Then?
Is that like a pose, like the bowing pose that they do?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I honestly, the way I read it was she didn't expect them to be cut down to like close to her fingers.
Oh, you think it's like a length thing, like how bad she was? The shorter,
Yeah,
they get cut.
That's like
You have to wait till they grow back.
the way they were back. That's years.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
Oh, I never thought about that one. When I
So
rewatched
you're
it,
presentable again.
yeah, when I rewatched
Yeah.
it today, I was like, thought maybe I misread the scene, but I was like, no, she looked surprised that they were
Yeah.
actually cut off. But I was like, what did she think they were going to do when she literally put her hands out?
That's how I read it. I read it as like she knew this punishment was coming when she went down, but she didn't realize it would be that extreme.
We haven't seen any battle nails yet, though, Jen. But I think there's still time for that.
They're coming.
Episode 8, maybe some battle nails. Do you want to stick with the Sean Chen since they let us off?
Sure.
Sure.
Patton Fane shows up again with the horn. Finally, the horn has gotten somewhere. Gives it to Torok. We didn't really get a full glimpse of the horn, but I mean, we got.
No.
It was.
No,
Still,
you get like a little taste.
I would
I
like.
like
so
Torque gotta
excited.
use his ring fingers to
Yeah.
open up the
He's
box.
used to it.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I was so excited to see Patton Fane, and then like that was it.
Yeah. I
That
wish.
was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed too. Like, could he
Yeah.
hang around at least a bit, or
Like one more scene, maybe.
he's like, here, this is your scene. Walk in, hand him a box, and
That's
then get the fuck
He didn't even
out.
say anything,
Well,
right?
look, it's,
Yeah.
it's more than Matt and
He did
it's more
say.
than Matt and Land got.
Oh my word, Matt.
Oh yeah.
But,
And
hey, you know,
Talk about that one later.
not in the episode.
Moraine gets an episode that she's not in.
That's
she's
true.
top
I'm
bill.
not saying there's anything wrong.
But
with
Matt's
it.
done nothing.
All right. Well, that's for the. We'll
We'll
talk
get
about that at the end.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk
What
about
didn't
that.
happen in this
We'll
episode.
talk about that during the Matt parts.
Good.
So Sora. All right. So right, we get a scene later with Sora talking with Ishamael. She's pretty bold the way she's talking to
Yeah.
him, right?
I know.
And I was like, oh man, I was like, I'm surprised that Ishamael didn't do something bad to her, because like that to me, that's what I would have thought. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm like the what is he the strongest Forsaken? I forget what they described him as, Brendan,
Yeah.
in the beginning.
He's the most powerful Forsaken.
He's the most powerful.
She's the most
Forsaken.
dangerous.
Lanfear's the
Oh,
most
yeah.
dangerous. The boys are the most impish.
And then he's
Uh,
the strongest channeler in
The
1,000
boys.
years.
Grendel's the most derivative, and Mogideon's insane.
Yes.
Gideon's insane at Acme University. We earn our 2 degrees. Sorry.
So, yeah, I was surprised too, but I'm also like, do you think he can't just take your army from you? I'm pretty sure he could if he wanted to. Maybe you should shut up.
But
Serath died, but right before her last breath, she said I should take over her space. Yay.
Ross head exploded. It was so weird. Oh my god.
Never
It's going
saw it.
around.
so the one thing that did finally cow her is when he said, I know why, or like, I remember why you swore your oaths, which I was,
Yeah,
which I wonder what that is. And I wonder if we're going to find out what that is.
probably.
But that's what he does to kind of cow her instead of just like, you know, I don't know, using the one power and making her kneel or get pain or something like that, or threaten to kill her.
He's not a monster, Joe.
He is a monster, though. He is a monster.
Not.
I would have.
I think
I would have liked a
I-
reaction. That's all. I'm
I
saying.
like it better. I like Ishamael better that he doesn't need to use physical force to win. He can he's smarter than you and he can manipulate you. And I think that makes a more effective villain.
I'm not
like, he
saying
doesn't-
physical force.
Like
I'm saying
like
magic.
to him, this is like a child throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
if you get angry, they're just gonna get more emotional.
I would have.
You
liked,
know,
I would have liked a little bit of torture in there, but that's okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. I
It's
just said
also-
I'd like something
I-
like that in there.
It's possible that, I guess it's not terribly likely, but it's possible that Ishamael is keeping his ability to do magic secret because the Shanshan have a pretty
It's true.
strict view of it.
Well, she
and
says.
maybe Surath wouldn't want to work with him.
She
anymore.
says you're one of the chosen, but I'm of the blood. She says she knows he's a Forsaken. The Chosen are what the bad people call the Forsaken.
Huh.
Well, she does, but maybe he doesn't want to go like letting anybody else know.
Who's he going? They're in the room by themselves. He can channel and
I don't know. If her head explodes, people might have questions.
I'm not saying to
about that.
explode to blow
How
her
did
head
that
up.
happen?
I said a little bit of pain or something, or a visual sign of how powerful he really is.
No, I think Tom's right that he's just like you have to calm your temper
It's
down.
not-
Like
it's
he
not
says
very
that to her, doesn't he?
Shamael-like.
Like I'm
Yeah, your stupidity is only like
yeah, like you're
Overmatched.
being ridiculous. Like
He
like,
also
he can kill her so quickly that he's just like, this is like not even worth my time right now.
But it is.
he also
worth his
knows
time.
that her loyalty is negotiable at best, and if he his options might be to just be patient with her or kill her, with no in between. Because if he like smacks her around a little bit, even metaphorically speaking, she's just going to turn right around and go back to Turok or find somebody else to work with. They're
That's-
bad people.
that's true. There is another Forsaken around,
Right.
and like they have a very open conversation about how they're going to portray each other.
Yes,
So-
yes. How much they trust each other. So we get a conversation later between Ishamael and Turok, which is Jen, where you mentioned in the recap. That's how we learn that Ishamael is the one who kind of set the Shanshin in motion, it seems like, although he denies it.
But
And
he was in Shanshin. Because at first Turok says like nobody from the Westlands has been in our land. But
yeah,
does he mean like except you? Because for him to have seen the omens and started the return, like he had to have been in Shanshin.
There, yeah.
oh yeah, he definitely came over.
Yeah, okay. So he meant like you're the only one that it's weird that you were there because nobody else has been there.
Yeah, I think so too. But he asks like where he's from, and he says, "I left home a long time ago."
So long ago. I don't remember.
He dodges
Stupid
that
answer.
question. There's a lot of question
Yeah.
dodging in this show. But that's what happens with Ice Die, especially.
I really like, and this was more, this is a note I had in the previous scene. I really like that Ishamael continues to dress like he's from the future.
Just yeah.
His vest looked like something that a Romulan would wear. It was great. It's just like it's got this weird collar and these ridges. It's fantastic.
It is pretty cool.
It really is. He's very fashion forward.
He
You know?
is.
Yeah.
I think he's going to set some trends. I won't jump to the last scene, right? The last Shanshin scene, because I think there's a lot of other things that lead up to that we would need to talk about first. So you know what? Let's just go to those.
Okay.
Let's jump to the.
Okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
There's one more scene of the Shanshin, but there's other stuff we need to talk about before we get to that scene. So
I thought you were saying. Well, I thought you were saying let's not do this. The last scene with the Shanshin, and then let's just go do that. I misunderstood.
okay. So we've got the girls traveling through the ways, right, with Leandrin. There's the conversation between Nynaeve about breaking the O's. We finally find out Leandrin's motives, right? We're wondering through this first 4.5, or so, 4 3/4 episodes, what the hell Leandrin's doing. Is she bad? Is she good? Why does she want Nynaeve? Why is she so interested in Nynaeve? And we finally get it clear and spelled out for us that she was hoping to recruit Nynaeve to the shadow or the dark. And I don't know, did she say that was an order, or no, she was just doing that on her own?
Yeah, she said
it's going to make it easier for you. Or
oh
whatever.
yeah, she did say that.
Well, that's what
Would've
old
been
evil people
easy.
say. It'll be easier if you join us.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Well, she meant like, I guess she meant like, hey, if you're bad, maybe you won't be a slave. Like maybe they'll use you. But like, yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, Nynaeve's a very angry, hateful person for most of Leandrin's interactions with her. She probably thinks there's a lot of potential for her to join the dark and,
That's true.
Advance quickly.
Brendan, are you convinced now Leandrin is bad?
I'm convinced Leandrin is bad. Yes, I'm not necessarily 100% convinced that she's like quote unquote on the Shanshin side, or even necessarily on Ishamael's side. This is years ago, 10, 12 whatever years ago. Spoiler alert for a 10-year-old movie that everybody saw. When I saw the first Thor movie in theaters, in the third act of the movie, Loki, who has turned on everybody at least once, turns on a completely different person yet again. And a person sitting like 3 rows ahead of me in a virtually empty theater, is weird, just slams his hand on his armrest and goes, "Whose fucking side is he on?" And I said to this complete stranger, "He's on his side." And that's what I thought of this morning watching the episode when Leandrin let Nynaeve out of her ropes and noped out into the waves.
All right, I have a comment about
Here
that.
you go.
All right, so this was one
Here's
of
a
the
magic bomb.
So I want to talk about that specifically because the first time I watched it, I read it that way, like, oh, she's still torn and, you know, maybe not so bad that she lets them out. But then I rewatched the scene and I think she does it to spite Soroth, like to say, "Fuck you,
Yes.
Soroth, I'm going to let them go."
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Like
think
if Shamael didn't come, and Soroth's like threatening me and I'm threatening her, so now, you know what? Here, deal with them free.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I thought she was like throwing a bone to Nynaeve.
I think it's a little bit of that. I think there's a little bit, because I'll tell you why. Nynaeve's are the only bonds she cuts. She wakes all the girls up and cuts her bonds. That's it. The other girls are still tied up. That's why they're channeling like this. They're running like this. Their hands are still tied.
Yeah, she only cuts 90.
Okay.
Yeah, and she does. So I do think, and she gives her a nod. She gives her like a, go on, blow it all up. But I do think it's mostly spite driven there, not like
Yeah, I don't think she really. I mean,
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I don't think Leandrin necessarily wants the girls to escape or win, but she wants Soroth to lose. Like she doesn't really give a shit what happens to Nynaeve and the Pussycats. She just wants to mess with the Shaunches.
Yeah, I don't think she cares about them personally. I think it's just that she also doesn't like when women are being collared.
Well, yeah, none of the
she had to bring them because Ashamael ordered her to, and she did that. But I think she would have been just as happier doing something else with them, not letting them become Damane.
Yeah, I think so.
I know. I think that she like regrets having to do this to Nynaeve. I think that she actually does. I do.
I don't.
think that
I hope she
I think
doesn't.
that
I just want her to be evil. But let it all out.
I know,
Leandrin.
it's hard.
Just let it all out. Show your true colors. You're an evil bitch. Do it. I don't want to hear this was remorseful. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the remorse, Leandrin. It's tired. It's a tired act. But wait,
so,
can we?
What strikes me is that why did she have the upper? Why did the Shaunchen soldiers take the girls off the horses and leave?
I gotta talk about this. I have to talk about this. This is the stupidest scene in the. They take the girls off the horses, put them off out of the way to the side, so this conversation can have. Put them over there by that tree, and then at the end of the scene, it's like, go get them. And I'm like, why didn't they, when the soldiers took them, why didn't they just bring them right over there? That was the stupid, I was like, this is really stupid.
Why did the soldiers put them down and then go back?
Yes, and they just left. They just put them,
they went back to the
they had to hit their marks, Tom.
Together, yes.
Like,
yes, that's the answer.
You want me to unload them? I'll unload them. You want me to bring them? I'll bring them too, boss. Like,
I was like, what is going on? And they made like such a show of it. Like they like just kept cutting over to the soldiers, putting them down by the tree. And it's like, look how stupid this is.
Why can't they just leave them on the backs of the horses?
Yes.
Yeah, once the Shaunchen had hands on them, they should have been in their custody.
Yes.
That's right. Because Dan's like, oh, well, they didn't know they were going to get them yet. And I'm like, no, they had them. They took them off the horses for her. Like, it's not like Leandrin laid them down and then there was like a standoff. Like, they had them.
It is possible that they literally don't know why they're there. Like, Soroth is just like, you're coming with me.
And
go
we're
get
standing
those girls.
here in silence for hours.
No, but
they're like, oh, you want us to? Oh, we're bringing them with us. Oh, okay. Like, I don't know whatever you say. Like, I just do what you tell me to do, and that's it. Like, it is
a lot.
Sorry.
There's a lot in this whole sequence that even as someone who generally doesn't necessarily care about the logistics and the tactics and that sort of thing, it's not as bad as that horrible cut in season 1, episode 5 or 6 or whatever it is, where like a day's worth of stuff has to happen to get Nynaeve from one room to another. But like for Leandrin to go from the secret passage with 3 unconscious adult women to get 3 horses completely loaded up, put them there, go into the ways, which can't be easy. Like last time there was a whole rigmarole about opening the gate and getting through, and you can't bring horses, and she just brought the horses with, again, 3 completely unconscious adults just draped over them, and is in there long enough that she has to take a break.
Right.
And she's doing this all by herself.
Well, she can just channel the girls and move like with.
You can't channel in the ways though because it brings much.
Yeah, how did she knock Nynaeve back out?
Yeah, she
exactly. Nynaeve woke up again.
How did she channel?
Look, I'm sorry
she was channeling to put them out, but how did she do that in the waves?
It's just like
hit her in the head with a rock.
I don't know why they. So okay, this is a spoiler alert, but it's not because this just happens differently in the books. Brendan. Now, Leandrin just tricks them into going with her with basically the same story that she tells Nynaeve, like, your friends are in danger at Falm. We need, you need to come with me so we can go save them. And she tricks them and they go into the ways and same thing, Elaine tags along like she's not supposed to be there. But they're all conscious and they're all just complicit because they think Leandrin's still good and she's trying to help them. And then when they come out is when everything, everything goes crazy. Right. So they could have just done that. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I don't mind this, but like the logistics of like how she got that. We know where that tunnel lets out. Yeah. It's the middle of the city. It's just like under the tower. So like, yeah, how does she? Where
does it go all the way out to that way gate? Like
maybe there's a wagon
the clearing.
There's like a wagon with another dark friend there. She's like throwing them in.
She's probably got a cart or so. There's got to be a cart with a wagon, and then they throw them in the wagon. She's got to have some dark friend. It's just strong arms.
And they're evil horses, clearly.
Yes.
I think that's the reason why they're okay to go with the noise. But okay, we jumped over this. I want to jump back briefly to the ways, because the ways in the first season I thought that was like how the ways looked, how Match Jin looked, all of that. I thought was very good. This I felt was even better, just in like some of the lightning flashes inside. You saw like what was behind them. Yes. And like what the ways actually look like, and they talk about it and they look weird and everything like this, but you see like there's just like floating islands and bridges like going between them, and again there's nothing supporting it. And like they talk about don't fall off, you could just keep falling, but they showed you what it looked like here briefly, and I thought it was really, really cool and not in the same world almost as where everything else was.
You can see it better. You can see everything better. It was a little lighter, so so you could actually get an idea and a sense of what it looked like. Yeah, I noticed that right away. I was like, it's not so dark as it was.
Also, like the Waygate opened up like a vagina, and I just wanted to throw that out. I'm sure it was on purpose, but I don't know why.
What? It just opened up like this.
No, it didn't open up like this.
Open, John.
It opened up like...
So do other things.
It opened up like... Again, it opened up in the shape of Tarvalon. Like yes.
It's the shape of Tarvalon. Like an eye? Like a cat's eye?
Like I need another 2 hands.
To me, I would say cat's eye. Yeah, that whole thing with... Okay, let's go past that part. I love the dialogue between...
Can you pull out that's how a vagina opens?
Yes. I'll try to remember and pull that out as a drop. Do you want?
I'm really glad I froze up for that bit.
Oh, you're so happy. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, I love the scene, the interaction between Leandrin and Suroth, the two of them kind of posturing against, and like you could tell they clearly don't like each other, but they're both working for Ishamael and they have to do what he says. And then they're kind of like, I'll get you. Oh no, I'll get you.
Yeah.
That was really
fun. She waits till just before she goes through the Waygate so she can have the last word.
Yeah, and she whispers under her breath.
If you live that long. And then she runs.
Go ahead, Brendan. Sorry.
I'm just going to say it. I simply cannot take Lady Suroth seriously. with that
Why?
haircut.
The head.
It just looks so stupid.
Did she have that? She didn't have that though when she talked to. Did she for Leandra? I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember.
She
She's
did.
faced.
She did,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, she's
No mask
her
this
mask
season.
is off
Okay.
for most of the episode.
You
I
understand why she's
can't-
wearing the mask, I guess. Now.
I just can't do it. I don't.
I'm sorry. It
just looks so
true-
silly.
It's true to the books though.
Okay. It
Yeah,
just looks so dumb.
It's
Okay.
the bald cap over her regular hair, maybe, that's making it look weird. Like her
Maybe.
head is like
but
too big.
Her head does look
For
like
her
an odd
body.
shape, so
Yeah, because it's covering her actual
I guess
hair, and then there's more hair on. It's like
they should have just made her wear like a green cap and then CGI'd her head.
yeah. Tell them they could do that next time.
Maybe,
Or
yeah.
an actress willing to shave the sides of her head
Yeah, just do it.
and then get weird scarring tattoos.
Can we?
Jessica Boone did it. She didn't have to shave both sides, but she did one side.
That's right, and it looks pretty badass.
That's called commitment.
Although we didn't see her with her helmet thing off though, so we don't know if it really looks good. Can we talk about the scene where they, the Shanshan capture Egwene?
Sure.
Now I'm not going to go too much into the logistics of it, and I was a little confused about where everybody was in the scenes because, first of all, we get this Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees-esque chase where the Soldam and the Damane are just walking, and the girls are running, yet the Soldam and the Shanshan are right behind them no matter what, which was like, okay. But there's a point where I think they shoot a lightning bolt or whatever it was, and it lands right in front of Egwene, and she gets stopped. She stopped. And then literally seconds later, the Soldam and Damane are right behind Nynaeve and Elaine. I don't know how that happens because Egwene was behind them. So I was a little confused about it. I thought it was a little confusing, the scene. So I just kind of wanted to say that there.
It didn't feel like they ran very far and then they kind of let them go.
Yeah,
it's
It's
like,
not like
well, we
they
got
ran for
one.
like 30 seconds and they got one, and then they were like in a totally open clearing where anybody could see them, and they just kind of like let them go.
yeah, you would think like if you really wanted to capture them, like all of those soldiers would have been fanning out looking for them. Like you're not going to go back and then we'll come back for them later. You would have.
I don't think they wanted to capture all of them. I think they wanted one of them, and they weren't sure which one, and they assume Egwene is Nynaeve.
Oh, okay.
I like that. I also think that they're used to capturing women who can channel, not women who know how to channel. And like they're not trying, like the Shanshan aren't trying to hurt them. They're trying to stop them. They're trying like Elaine's throwing, kill weaves at them as best she can. They're throwing knock you over weaves,
Yeah.
And so that's not the right, and that goes back to that goes back to Turok's position in the beginning. Like you shouldn't overcommit when you can't actually do what you want to do. Like they went over there, they didn't have enough people to get 3 people.
Well, the problem I think was that the soldiers put them over on the side by the tree.
The first tactical error was not just putting collars on them
Right, immediately.
away.
That's what should happen. They should have, as soon as they brought them in, they should have went over and put collars on them.
Well, that would
they're
ruin
unconscious.
what happens next.
I mean,
I know.
this is another one of those things where like, look, if the bad guys were competent, the story would be over.
It's true.
I
They wanted to have a
do-
dialogue, though. That's what the real thing
Yeah,
is.
I think honestly, you can wrap it up with the fact that like, no, Soroth wants to posture first, and like that's why she fails.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that I liked about that interaction is that you haven't seen 2 dark friends, 2 like evil people interact together like this, right? You've seen one bad guy monologue to like minions, but you haven't seen like 2 dark friends. Like this is your first sense that like, oh, they're not like a monolithic force. Like they're not all marching to the same drum beat.
Yeah.
They're all like, they all want to be on top.
Yeah.
And then like that's duplicated later on when the 2 chosen, the Forsaken, are talking to each other, and like, Lanfear says, "Of course I'm going to betray you," and she's like, "I'm the only one that the Dark One loves because I'm like him." And so like, there's there's that posturing is up and down across the entire field. And I think this is the first time that you really get a sense of that. I think that's important. Like, even if the bad guys are competent, they're not fighting the same fight. They're fighting for their own goals as much as the Dark One's goals.
Yeah. I want to move on a little bit because we've been talking about this specific scene for probably 30 minutes. So the girls sneak into Falm. They get noticed by some guy who knocks them out, and it turns out that he's a warder. And we meet a yellow sister who's in the city, I guess, kind of hiding out from the Shanshan. And that's all. But I want to say this. I loved the bickering. I didn't realize the bickering that was happening between Nynaeve and Elaine until the second time I watched it. Like, I was like, oh my God, we're getting the Nynaeve Elaine team up. This is going to be great. We need more of this.
They don't even know each other, really. Like
That's what's so great about. Yeah, you're right. In the books, they're much closer, so to speak. Like, they're more friendly.
Not really, but I think at this point in the book, it's like Egwene is like the friend. Like, you wouldn't hang out without Egwene, but you know each other. But like, yeah. But in this one, they like literally never spend any time together at all.
Yeah, yeah. Which I guess makes it more believable that they kind of don't get along. Like, Nynaeve's like, who says you're in charge? And I love that.
Like, Nynaeve just instinctively dislikes her.
Yeah.
And Elaine's smart and is giving her good advice, and she can't follow it. Yeah. I like Jen's summary thing about like her complete incapability of like, no, we have to be quiet and chill. No,
we must save Egwene. Get out of here. Shut up.
Shut up. You're going to get us killed. Cut back to the Shanshan with bringing in their prize for Turak. Surath brings for Turak. I know it's fun to say. I'm sorry, Surath.
Turak
brings a present for Turak, and it's Egwene. And we get to see one of those collars going on, which was I was not expecting that. I was not expecting it to be a little collar,
like Iron Man's suit.
Yes, it was like
a nano suit.
Yeah. It was Iron Man's enslaved collar, and a leash.
Yeah,
and it was like a chain, like almost like one of the choker collars you people used to put on their dogs. It's like a chain link.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a very "you are not a human, you're an animal" vibe here.
Yeah, so why do you think the other Damane didn't have leashes on?
They're trained?
Maybe they were trained. Yeah, maybe that's trained. Like a training leash.
So that's a training.
But they
leash.
do have a leash of like the power going down. There's like a thin line that's like a connection between.
Yeah, you saw it when she first put it on her,
and then she clicks like the actual chain on her.
Yeah. So it's a training leash. Do you agree with that, Brendan? You think this is a training leash?
Yes. Actually, yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was.
Yeah. In the books, there is a leash for all of them. But I think we heard something about like the costume designer talk about that. Like they did use the leash because everyone thought there was going to be no leashes because in the end of, season 1, they didn't have any leashes and people were upset. But then I think the costume designer said they are going to use leashes sometimes. But I don't think she said like what the distinction was going to be. But yeah, I think it's a training leash. I think to keep them closer. And then once they prove themselves, they can take the leash off.
Right.
I think it's too hard to, I think they said it was just like too hard to like map out where everyone was going to go if these two women were like always connected to each other.
Yeah.
Like they are very close. The Sildam is always right behind the Damane or close to them. But like to actually be physically attached, like that would be hard, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I like the explanation though. If that's the explanation, like this is because she's training, that's why. I'm sure we're going to get that sometime in the next episode or two. They had already braided. Did you notice her hair was already braided too?
Yeah. Like I love the saga of Egwene Alvir's hair in this series, and like how everything that's done to it is very representative of what's going on with her character and her agency.
Yeah, they couldn't like show us them dressing her and doing her hair because it'd literally be the same scene that we just saw her in season 1.
Yeah.
Them taking her clothes and brushing her hair out.
Yeah, I thought of that. I was like, I wonder if they
just like, we'll just do that off screen.
It's like, I wonder if they do another like a white cloak scrubbing scene that was just happened off screen. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see what happens next episode. It's going to be quite the episode, I think. Who do you want to jump to next? Do you want to do Perrin?
Want to do Matt next?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do Matt.
Oh,
Matt and Lan.
See, Lance had a lot of storyline.
Yes.
Oh my God, we really are going to do Matt.
I didn't miss him. No, for 1 second. But the episode was over, and I was just like, Matt wasn't even in it, and I didn't care.
I
And
care.
I was so sad.
I was a little upset.
I'm
I was
back on like what I was talking about last week, but like not that I didn't care, but while I was watching it, I wasn't thinking, "Where's Matt?" Like when it was over, I realized he wasn't in it, and then I was like, "Ugh!" Like
I was more upset
anyway.
because the tweeter at Chaos posted a tweet with Min in it saying like, something about what's Min up to, and then watch the next episode. And I was like, what the fuck was that? She just put up, when I watched the episode, I was like, she's not even in the damn episode. She was in the last time on, I think, maybe. I don't even think she was in the last time.
I don't know.
No, there's no reason for that. She's
No reason
nothing.
for her to be.
Yeah.
She's not in this one. I'm not. I noticed it. I noticed Matt and Min because I was expecting something with them, but like I didn't miss them because I felt like this. I felt like this episode was chock full of propelling storylines.
Yeah.
And I didn't think like there was an episode earlier in the season where there's like, here we're gonna show Perrin for 30 seconds and he's gonna name the wolf. He's gonna name the wolf's name.
Yeah.
Like they didn't need that here. This was a scene of them traveling wouldn't have done anything thematically for this episode.
Yeah.
This episode was about the bad guys are present and
They also had
and
nothing
plotting.
for them to do because they weren't ready for, Rand and Moraine weren't ready for them to be a Kyrian yet.
Yes.
right.
So it's like,
Right.
we're just going to have them do nothing. So, because that's pretty much what they've done the whole season. So we might as well just cut them out of the episode.
Rand should have been like right about to fall asleep, and like the door
let's-
flies open, and Matt busts in.
All right. I know that was a joke about talking about the Matt stuff, guys.
Right, so
Let's
do
talk
Perrin
about
next, 'cause I
actual,
think-
let's talk about people who are in the episode. Perrin, because we don't even think we got half the episode done yet. So,
No, we get the
No,
we get the
we
two
didn't.
biggest plot lines.
okay, Perrin, let's talk about Perrin. You guys were right. I think Tom or Jen, one of you said, right? You thought that Elias wasn't leading him to the caravan, and he wasn't. He was taking him back to a Tuin's mill. He says,
and like,
he
hey,
says-
abandon humanity with me. That's what you should be doing.
but he
like-
says better dead. This is exactly what Elias says. He said better dead or it's better than being dead or a slave.
Mhm.
So then why did you take him back to the town where they were enslaving and killing people?
He's not
they're
taking
just
it back.
walking past it.
Why would he
He's just
take him
going back to the-
why would he take him anywhere near it?
They're on a peninsula. There's only one way out.
But it's a very big peninsula.
They're not near the town. Perrin uses his wolf eyes to see it like
Well,
a half a
Elias-
mile away.
Elias should
Like,
know that. He's got wolf eyes.
Yeah. So I love the setup for this. I love I love like we talked about this earlier that like, hey, Ishi's going to scare him off of like being a wolf brother, right? By giving him like the more wolf you are, the more you're like, and no, like Elias did a good enough job of like saying like fuck humanity, fuck your friends and your loved ones and your wife. Be wolfy with me in the woods.
Yeah, he's
Eat
kind
raw
of
meat.
he's a little too serious for me, Elias. He needs to
Came
perk
on
up
too
a bit.
strong.
It's a little too much for us.
It's easy to betray your friends. So
But
yeah,
Hopper
I thought-
follows him when he goes, though,
Yeah,
right?
how great
But then
was
he
that?
leaves Hopper because when he leaves the town with Avienda, Hopper's not there anymore.
Hopper is there.
He's there.
Oh, he's just like
He's there.
with them
Yeah,
He's in the scene with them.
Yeah.
After
at
the,
the
town.
campfire.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's there
Oh.
eating.
yeah,
Oh, I
he's
completely
there.
missed it. Okay, good. Then I feel better about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But I think the reason for him going back to the town was really dumb.
To
I
bury
don't
the
know.
nose.
Perrin's really dumb.
But he didn't even get. He saw him in the cage, then got totally distracted and never gave it a second thought.
Look, I think that
Yeah, he could have
One.
just told Dane, yeah, this guy, he could have said, yeah, I was here in the town with the Shinarans. This guy was my friend and he died. And they could have just taken him down and said, or you not even told him that whole story, just said, hey, that's my friend in there. The Shanshin killed him. I want to bury him. And they could have just done that. He didn't.
This is another situation where the show's handling of time, pun unintended but unavoidable, is really inconsistent and sort of confusing because It seems like Perrin has been away from that town for like a day and a half, and an entire other occupying military force has come in and chased another one out, and some foreign assassin has come in and killed a bunch of them and gotten kept in like an afternoon.
It's like
And-
at least a week.
And
I think
so much so that someone else has taken over the inn and established controversial opinions about which occupying army he preferred.
Well, this wouldn't be the first time someone took over an inn under, let's say dubious
This season.
circumstances.
I think that guy was
This
like
season,
her
yes.
assistant manager or something. He probably already worked
What?
there. She left and he just took over the inn.
No, he's
Okay, fine.
So
I think it was a
You're
longer
right,
time.
I take it all back.
He was unconscious
yeah.
for a while, and they've been traveling for days. Probably, it's probably been at least a few days.
He said it was a couple days ago that the White Cloaks came in, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. There's no sense of how long he's been. He traveled in the wagons before he regained consciousness, or how long he's been walking
Right.
with. But
And-
yeah, sorry.
And in the same amount of time, in the same amount of run time, 12 hours have elapsed for Rand and Moraine.
Yeah.
if
yes,
that.
yes.
Well, so yeah, you don't know when those storylines are happening
Right.
in time with each other, and they don't. I'll tell you this: like this happens in the books a lot, and it's not like there's a point. This is not a spoiler, but there's a point later on in the books, late in the series, relatively late in the series, where finally you're like, oh, like this thing is happening. I know what time the storyline is taking place in, right? Yeah, they don't do stuff like that until whenever they all get together. So how far ahead or behind is Rand and Moraine? I don't know. I really have no idea. I can't say.
They do it.
but-
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that right. This is happening long enough of a time that the Seanchan have gotten back to Falm, and like that's got to take days. Like that's got to be like they're gone, and like that's got to be a lot of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, because
I mean,
it's far enough away that their troops can't support where they've gone to.
But we don't
like,
even
that's how
know.
far-
We don't even know how many troops the Seanchan left there.
they
or
also had to
whatever, so-
sail there and sail
Wait.
back.
What are we talking about? Sail.
They
what's
talk about the
They don't have to sail
Seanchan,
there.
right?
They don't sail there.
They
Where?
sail back at the beginning of the episode.
No, I think that's just their Seanchan ships are just hanging out in the harbor.
What? They're returning to the town, aren't they?
No.
Oh,
That's
I
not-
didn't get that at all.
impression
I
at all.
honestly thought
I think they were
They're
just
just
showing.
standing there in battle formation in the harbor, just like waiting.
maybe, yeah. I
Doing
think that,
nothing?
that makes a lot of sense, Jen. I just didn't get that.
Yeah, that's
I
not
thought
what I
that-
picked
I
up
honestly-
from it. It couldn't-
I honestly
didn't even
thought that
think
they
about
were
that.
just showing like they have ships full of soldiers. Like that's how big their forces are. And honestly, I felt like they did that so that they can pan up into the city and the sky above the city.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
just
know, but I
showing
just
the
was
Seanchan
like, okay,
ships
here
and-
comes the fleet, and now she's
You think
coming
they
back
took a
to
whole
Turok.
fleet to go?
well, whatever. I don't know, a couple of ships.
What
They were like
in the
in
first-
position on the boat.
So they had to
That's what it-
carry the palanquin on the ship and then take it off the ship and then put it back on the
Maybe
ship.
the palanquin went by land. Everybody else went by sea. I don't know, Joe. I'm not Rohit Kumar. Okay, I don't know.
Okay, I wasn't asking you. I didn't ask the question.
Just asked me. They brought the palanquin.
Oh, the palanquin part. Okay, I see what you're saying. Can we talk about Avienda? Well, no. Before we talk about Avienda, let's talk about Dane. All right.
Awesome.
Why?
Wait,
Why
Brendan
is?
wants to say something.
Oh, go ahead, Brendan. Sorry.
No, I don't. I just I do want to say something, but let Joe continue setting it up.
I want to talk about Dane. Why is a white cloak wearing a brown cloak? Is he wearing a white cloak under that and then put a brown
Yes.
cloak over his white cloak?
Yes.
For the benefit of us. That's why.
Yes. Exactly.
There's no
For
reason.
the same reason.
There's a
for
lot-
the
yeah.
same reason that Yvonne read the poem.
There's a lot of stuff in this episode.
I was like, wait, he's got a white. He's
like
got a,
why?
it took me a minute to like
Yeah.
realize. I was like, wait a second. Like I understood he was wearing a brown cloak compared to know who he was, but I was like, wait a second. He's got a brown cloak over his white cloak. Why is he wearing two cloaks?
I actually think there's
to keep it clean.
I think there's a clear though unstated reason why he is dressed like that in this town. Because there are two sets of white cloaks here. There are his white cloaks who are soldiers, and they are questioners who are douchebags.
Okay.
And he's trying to be kind to the townspeople and not scare them and not and show there is a difference between those guys and us guys, right? And I'm not gonna throw in your face I'm Dane Bornhold first, White Cloak second, and I think that's where he is. He treats them. No, I'm serious. You see, he treats the innkeeper.
I'm a person.
No, that's legitimately what it is. I think he is there, he's a good person who's a White Cloak, like his dad, right? On the show, right? He's that's it. And but
nothing.
Yeah, and so
he's a
I think
Nepo baby. And who says he's a good person?
Baby.
Well, I think
he tries to kill Perrin and Avienda.
Well, he tries to
escaping.
He tries. Yes,
okay.
He tells Perrin, "Don't break her out. She killed a bunch of people." And then Perrin broke her out.
Well, he should have said, "You have no power here, Dane Bornhold." I'm sorry, Perrin Golden Eyes or Dane, whatever.
What? So, but yeah, I think. I don't know.
It's from Lord of the Rings.
Remember that part
when Gandalf tries to get what's his name?
Gandalf Storm.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's his
Sorry,
name?
man. That was a deep cut.
Theoden.
Sorry.
Yes, of course, because when I see that strapping handsome man with a battle axe, the first thing that jumps to mind is Grima Wormtongue.
Well, he doesn't say that.
What's
his name says? Theoden says that. The king.
I think.
Whichever.
I think they do a good job of showing that Dane is, compassionate.
He's not like other White Cloaks.
Well, I think he's compassionate. He's smart and astute and well learned. Like he can tell by Perrin's dress where Perrin's from, right?
Yeah, everybody seems to how many times does somebody point out that's happened twice this season already, but I feel like it's happened in other. It happened a couple times in the first season too. I think Dana does, right? Dana notices or no? Oh no, it's Tom. Tom Maryland notices, right?
Yeah, Tom Maryland notices. But they don't just do it for people from Two Rivers. They do it for other people as well.
Everyone knows they're from the Two Rivers.
Right? You can see somebody and you go, oh, that's a Tuathawan. That's a traveling person because of the colorful clothes they wear.
Yeah.
Right? And Tom says it. He's like, only Aiel dressed like this or whatever. There's
No, he knew they were from the Two Rivers. He mentioned, I think, their accents or something like that.
Yeah, he said the accent's the way you dress.
Oh, the dress,
right?
Yeah, the way they're dressed, yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, I think, but he gives Perrin the opportunity to tell him.
We know, Tom. We know you like Dane. All right. You don't have to keep rubbing it in our faces.
I thought it was a good introduction to that character.
I thought this was when they introduced Dane Bornhold, almost literally by having Vol to turn to the camera and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Dane Bornhold."
yeah, it's true.
Well, he says the innkeeper says child Bornhold.
When I realized,
but
it was at that moment that I realized, well, I did like this episode. Oh, this episode is not for me. This is for you guys.
Right.
This episode is for you guys.
Yes, this episode does have a lot of
big ass fan service episode.
It is a fan service episode, even though
we already knew that he was
fine.
Even though
we didn't need that.
Even though a lot of the stuff that happens in this episode doesn't happen in the books.
I would say very, very few things that happen in this episode
still.
But yes, this episode I think is for people who are watching the first 4 episodes going, what the fuck is happening here? Where is the books? To go, hey, look, here's some booky stuff. I think that there's a little bit of hey, remember that other nice White Cloak in the first season? This is his son, right?
Nope. Most people don't remember that's
but
they make him.
They did do it in. Didn't they put him though in the last time on the Wheel of Time?
I don't remember.
Think they did, and I think that
they did. Yeah.
How about how he pokes jokes at Valda about there's no wolves here, don't worry or whatever.
6 months later, he's still hurt. So good.
He's incredible. He's an amazing villain. I love him so much.
So good.
What a little
So
bitch.
much. So when I saw him in
What
the
a
last
little
time
bitch
on,
with
I
his
was like,
sling 6 months later from getting stabbed by a little girl.
stop.
She's not tall.
She's
Yeah,
a
but the
20-year-old woman. Yes.
I mean, I think it's also implied that like maybe he got mangled by some wolves.
Yeah.
He was definitely afraid of it. But I love that like even in that, like Dane knows that is probably the new stranger in town who made that noise and like uses the dog as a distraction. I thought it was very good.
But did the dog come out because Parent it like sensed a kinship with Parent?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
so weird too. Does that happen? Like
I think
that-
it knew he was canine. He was a wolf brother. Like he's
Oh,
I don't think
boy.
there's dog brothers, but he probably sensed something.
yeah,
Man, it'd be
But
amazing if there
but
were
dogs
dog
wouldn't go near
brothers.
wolves though in real life. Like if dogs went near wolves,
Yeah.
the wolves would probably attack the
And wolves-
dogs. So
um,
I'm not sure how that works.
I think both would happen one way or the other, depending on who had more. But yeah, I think
sorry, can I just say one thing from the chat? Rare said it would have been great if Dane pulled out a locket with a picture of Jeffrem on it. Just to make sure everyone knew.
Dad, guide me. Right. Yeah, but then like again, he's still a white cloak, even though he's a good one. I have to kill you, person who's just trying to be nice. Because you aren't following my rules.
Still carrying a torch for Dane there, aren't you?
What? No, I'm saying like good for a white cloak is only goes so far. I'm still going to murder you because you didn't listen to me is still a reasonable response for him. Right.
They're murdering first. If they would have put their weapons down and surrendered, the White Cloaks wouldn't have killed them. I don't think.
No, the White Cloaks came out swords drawn.
Because
and Perrin goes,
there's an
hey,
ideal out there. That's
hey,
why.
all we want to do is leave. We don't want to fight. And
Yeah.
Dane's like, yeah, okay.
You're all attacking at the
Because
same time.
Avienda wants to fight. She's dying to fight.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Avienda
wait, before
isn't veiled yet.
wait, before we get to that, you mentioned this before, Tom. Like earlier on, you made a reference to this, right? Like the innkeeper, he's talking about how, the White Cloaks took over, killed the Shanshan, got the Shanshan out of there, or whatever. And he says, like, he makes a comment like, it was kind of better when the Shanshan were here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Brendan said it, but yeah.
Oh, it was Brendan. Yeah, the Brendan had said it. I love that line that they threw that in there. So now it's like, are White Cloaks worse than Shanshan, or Shanshan worse than White Cloaks? What the hell's going on?
The Shanshan like took what they wanted, which is unfortunately some women, and left. Left like a couple of soldiers there.
Yeah.
The White
Right.
Cloaks are just probably incredibly more annoying and like
Yeah.
aggressive.
They're yeah, I guess so. Okay, so you want to talk about Avienda, right? So first question I have is, did Dane set Perrin up? Like, all of the White Cloaks came out in a circle formation surrounding them in a matter of seconds. Like, it wasn't.
No.
You don't think so? You think they were
I don't
just
think it was
hanging
that-
out there, and
No, he's had a little conversation with her first before anybody came out.
but they
Yeah,
all
they have to like, introduce themselves and talk
Yeah.
about like
Can you walk? And I'm gonna have to carry you. Blah blah blah. All that.
so
she
like,
introduced herself for 5 minutes, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm Perrin."
Yeah.
I borrow.
He said the
like,
whole
I-
name. And Dan was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I got all that." I'm like, don't worry, I got it all. I know exactly what she said.
all right.
yeah,
so
I don't know if it was a setup more than like
somebody saw them and then went and got the other White
Right.
Cloaks, and
Yeah.
they came.
she's a
after them.
prisoner. You understand, like we're watching her, right? And she says earlier on, like, "Hey, that hammer is gonna make a lot of noise if you try and break a cage open."
Yeah.
And then he just uses the hammer to break a cage.
Well, no, he
Like-
was gonna smash it open last time. This
right.
time
He's a little bit
he's a little.
stealthier about knocking a lock
Yeah.
apart or whatever he does.
How awesome is it when like he goes to like push her behind him to protect him, and she just
Yeah.
starts laughing at him? And
Outright laughs at him. It's great.
I thought that was awesome. I loved everything about Avienda in this episode. I thought she was perfect. And then of course we get another awesome fight scene where we just, I guess from just from what you watched in the show, the only two Aiel we meet kick the shit out of everybody that they fight.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
wait
Yes.
to-
Pretty good.
Were they using the bolt camera? It seemed like they were. There were some shots that I thought it wasn't
I
like a
don't know.
freeze frame thing that they did, but like there was some shots where it looked like it was kind of
I
the same way.
I know they used the bolt camera for the first fight at Twins Mill. I'm pretty sure they used it here too. My favorite part of the fight is when she did like what was it? Is that the Oklahoma? What wrestling movie?
Oklahoma
Wrestling
Oklahoma roll,
movie?
right?
Yeah.
When she jumps on the
Yeah.
shoulders and then flips around like I'm like, this is awesome. She's a pro wrestling fan.
She also did a cross arm breaker. It was
Yes. Yeah. A lot of wrestlers. A lot of cool
she
wrestlers.
did a Hurricane Run, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I also like
They just
in the
got
first
like
fight.
it's just got,
She's sharpshootering somebody right through the like Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Stunner to Dane Warhol.
yeah. I think he was a consultant on this episode.
So the first fight in Twins Mill, right? Perrin was taken by surprise, gets knocked in the head by stairs a few times, doesn't really handle himself particularly well. Here, he kills like a bunch of people, or at least
It's hard to say,
injures
like,
them.
yeah, it's hard to say if anyone really died here.
I mean,
it seemed a lot of it was.
He's swinging a
Yeah.
hammer at people's chests,
but they have
a lot.
armor on. Yeah, I'm not
Possible
sure
they're
what.
okay.
I'm curious to see what the death toll is from this fight because Avienda didn't look like she was really killing many people necessarily. Instead of breaking
yes,
limbs.
there's some people that she just disarms and literally breaks their arms, but like it's implied that she's murdered most of those people because it's like startling that he gets to live, you know?
Yeah.
She's also killed a bunch of people off screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. No, I'm
Like,
just
that's why she
curious.
didn't get. Yeah.
I couldn't tell like how many people were actually dead. It was hard to tell. I wonder if we get a death. A death count,
because she's not fighting with a weapon for the most part, right? She's just
we don't see
beating
any,
the shit out
we
of
didn't
people.
see any like neck snaps, right? Usually that's like the thing when you're watching movies
or
or
throat rips. Yeah.
throat rips. We didn't get any neck snaps, so I don't know. But that was all awesome. Perrin spares Dane, I guess, because he thinks he's not such a bad white cloak as the other white cloaks. Because
He's got as much of a crush on Dane as Tom does. Apparently.
Yes.
Oh my
sounds like-
gosh. I'm curious as to like, I mean, whatever. Dane seemed to be decent.
Tom's like,
To
I'm
him-
gonna play it cool now.
All right, easy.
They're on to me.
I just want to remind all of us, the four of us were together when we found out that this man was cast as Dane Bornhold, and a significant portion of our podcast that week was about Big Dane energy. Okay,
That's right.
so
Tom's got Big Dane energy tonight, that's for sure.
so I just want to say it's not like this is coming from nowhere.
That's true.
Yeah, and
All because he got that haircut that you guys covered for an hour.
That's right.
That's right.
We did cover his haircut. It looks pretty damn good. I just gotta say that, Jay Duffy.
Yeah, I listen to this show every once in a while.
It was a good haircut. It was a good haircut. Then we get that other scene too at the end where the so like Avienda basically says, you know,
What?
you saved my life, so now I, you know, basically I wrote down she becomes Azim to Perrin's Robin of Locksley, basically.
That's a good way to put it.
Or Chewbacca to his Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't get the life-saving thing. Do we get that in Star Wars? No, we don't see the like. It's
Yeah, in
No,
Solo.
that's like in
Oh, it
Solo
happens-
you do.
oh,
in
I don't
the,
watch
the
that crap.
prequel movie that they explain why he's around. But yeah, there's definitely like, you know, I did like her like I don't know. Yeah, I'll sleep with you, but don't worry, I'm not going to sleep with you.
Her
But I
eye of
would sleep
humor?
with you, kind of. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Brendan, what did you think of Avienda? And like, I know she said a lot of words that you probably didn't understand and were trying to follow. How did you take it?
I forget the name of the comic book artist who said this, but he said he always draws Batman smiling because Bruce Wayne becomes Batman because of a horrible tragedy, but he stays Batman because being Batman is awesome. And I bring that up because I no longer understand why Perrin is depressed. I mean, yeah, okay, yes, he accidentally killed his wife, but that was like a year ago, and like now he's got some superpowers, and this like fun dog wolf guy is like really he's got a new pet, and now he's friends with a sexy ninja, and I don't lighten up, man.
He was
It's not
laughing.
that bad.
He was
laughing here.
Yeah, he
It's-
did seem a little bit.
I don't want to hear it anymore, Perrin.
Right.
Your life is actually awesome right now.
Right.
Brendan's
So-
like, Brendan's like, I would kill
Let's
to be in your position.
Perk it
right
up,
now.
man.
I want to.
Oh well, actually, that's a good question. Would you trade Perrin's situation? And I'm gonna. I know your wife doesn't listen to this podcast, so would you?
Your current life for parents' life?
Yes. Well, Brendan's saying.
Robin, your wife has to die.
Yes.
Earmuffs.
But
Accidentally by
Brendan's
your
saying, why is he still upset? So, Brendan, would you kill your wife to be in that situation when you have a cool,
Wait a minute.
superpowers, a wolf friend, and a cool, sexy ninja sidekick?
I would just say the wolf is not his pet. He has two sidekicks. Like,
Oh, yeah,
the
two
wolf is
sidekicks.
just like.
Would I? No.
Okay.
But if it happened, and then like a year later, this was the situation, I'd start to get over it.
Okay. I think he's going to get over it. I hope he gets over it. I think he's going to get over it. Let's go with that. But you didn't answer my question. So what did you think of like Avienda and like she said a lot of things, just a lot of words that are
she's great.
Real words.
What's not to like?
Okay. Did you follow though, like what she was talking about at all?
She's looking for Rand. Everybody's looking for Rand.
Okay, she's looking the Karakarn.
Obviously, the Cthulhu or whatever she's looking for. Obviously, that's Rand.
The Karakarn.
Whatever.
The Chief of Chiefs.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Rand.
The Chief of Chiefs, I'm pretty sure is Roman Reigns. Actually,
okay.
Okay. Yeah. The King was
No, that was Triple H was the King of Kings.
King.
And so was Jesus. So that was a fun story.
Yeah, he was.
I believe Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to move to the White Tower, or do you have anything else to say about this part?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Any more Dane conversation, Tom? You want to get off?
No.
Okay.
Not right now.
All right.
Save it.
Varen returns to the White Tower. There's more Ice to Die in there. We meet 2 more Ice to Die, everybody. Woohoo!
I want to say something about that right now. At one point, Varen says we need to get a list of all the Ice to Die who've left the tower in the last couple of days. And Joe, I've given you a hard time about complaining about how few Ice to Die there are. But when Varen said that, I was like, well, there's fucking 5. So that shouldn't be hard.
It shouldn't be too hard to get that list. Oh, that's great.
The list had one person on it.
She was the only one who's left.
Leandrin and Leandrin.
What you call it? The you came up with an awesome reference, Brendan. I think you said anyone could have it, but you should mention it right now.
Well, let's wait till we get to it organically.
Well, no, we meet. So Varen meets with some of her fellow Brown Aja, and they're having conversation or whatever. Varen mentions the Nynaeve and Egwene. How does she know about them? Does Moraine tell her, or does she? This is another one of just Varen's got.
We've been over
spies.
this. There's an email blast.
Email blast. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh, I'm sorry. We did talk about this.
The Ice to Die newsletter.
Yeah. The Ice to Die. They were in the Ice to Die. It's in the newsletter. It has all like the new initiates and their power rankings, or potential
power rankings. Talked about it over
rankings.
dinner and at their house one of those nights.
So you think Moraine? brought it up?
No. Moraine never went to dinner.
Never, not once.
No.
Nope.
Well, I guess Lang could have talked about it.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, he would definitely be talking about Nynaeve more.
There you go.
She goes and visits Sheriff. Okay, so this is where. All right. I don't know how to talk about this.
I will say this: a lot of the conversation that I want to have about the Sheriam scene, I want to have in the second half of the show.
Of course.
Because there was stuff there, like some of the stuff that Varen says and some of the stuff that Sheriam says. Like I feel like there's some stuff in that. But
what does Varen want with Egwene and Nynaeve? Just to meet them, you think, or?
I don't know.
Because she's going all over the place asking about them, trying to find them, trying to track them down. Do you think Moraine told her to check in on them?
I mean, look, it's very rapidly turned into a meme about how Nynaeve is the most powerful channeler the tower has seen in 1,000 years. But everybody seems to know about it, and it's perfectly natural for Varen to be curious on top of anything else she's there to do.
Oh yeah, she's
Right.
very curious.
right. So I mean, she expressly says it in the last time we see her that she's going to the tower to find like prophecy stuff.
Yeah.
About right. And so I almost imagine it's like, why am I back? Let me have a cover story. There's this remarkable channeler here, and then she's like, wait, not here?
I don't know.
Like, why else would you be back? She's like, oh, I came back to do some books.
No, she's
stuff.
writing her book. She tells her her brown
Yeah,
friends.
but her book is about the history of the world. Why would she want prophecies for the future?
She doesn't say
Right.
that though. She doesn't tell the brown Aja people that. She said she needed to do some more research. She
Right,
needed the
but the
library.
book
She
she's
needed the
gonna-
library. No one's gonna. It's
Right.
not like people are gonna be sitting over her shoulders like, what books? Maybe the librarian's gonna say, "Oh, you're taking out these books. So we're gonna report
Yeah.
this in the next Tower newsletter."
Have you ever met a librarian?
They're the Browns are the librarians. Come on, those guys, those women are the librarians. I don't know. I don't think so. I think she's.
You think it's,
I don't
maybe
know.
it's possible.
So-
Hey, while you're over there, check out these 2 other people.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
either Maureen told her to check in on them, like, and make sure they're okay, or Varen's got some things going on. So right, we get the scene with her talking to Shiriam about where the girls are. She doesn't know. She thinks they're there, and then she looks in the book and she realizes, oh no, they went to Camelin. It's a really odd scene, and then
It is
Varen-
really odd.
yeah, Varen lures her out. Her Cho Chang comes in and knows to look at the book and what she's looking for, but apparently she finds out what she needs and then goes back and then tells Varen.
Was it weird that they went out a door and then Yasuka came in the same door?
Nah,
Like
not
I
too
guess they
weird.
went like one way down a hallway, but
Yeah.
at first I was like, oh my god, Yasuka is Barrett. Like there was some kind of like
Oh,
spell going on where like she came. I was like, what the
I,
hell?
I
No.
literally assumed that she was listening at the door
Maybe
for like what they were talking about,
Yeah, oh, that's a good point.
and then like
kid. Yeah.
hid
Well,
and
I
then
also-
came in.
And I was pretty sure, and I'm still pretty sure that Varen told her to do that.
Oh yeah, no, I know
Oh,
that.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
that.
but
Varen
she
probably
didn't-
told her what to
but-
look for.
She didn't know before she went in there that
Yeah, she didn't know that she wanted. She
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
to
that's
see
it was
the-
going to be writing the book. You know, yeah, like there's
Yeah,
a lot
sure.
of things in the writing of this episode like that where it's like
How did she know to
something's a
look in the
little
book?
off about
Well, look, if you're
going on.
snooping around,
Well, the whole thing,
You-
actually, the whole plot was to get her out of the room so they could look at the book. Before Varen even knew I needed to look at the book, she had already planned to get a way to look at the book.
yeah, but the book was just there on the desk. If you're snooping around somebody's office and there's a book open on a desk, you're going to look at the book.
No,
Right.
what I'm saying is,
that's
I'm saying Varen went.
Teen Detective 101.
Encyclopedia Brown, right, Brendan?
Encyclopedia Brown Aja, exactly.
No, what I'm saying is, Varen, before Varen even goes to talk to Shiriam, her plan is to go to talk to Shiriam to get her out of the room so that they can look at the book. Like, that's all
Yes.
planned ahead of time. So, like, Varen.
No, maybe she just gets her out, and then
Yeah.
and then Yasuka hears they were talking about the book, so she looks when she goes in. She goes to the book.
Her plan isn't to get her out of the room and look at the book. Her plan is get her out of the room.
So they can
Yasuka
snoop.
comes in. There's a book open. She looks at it.
So it's
it's
just
not-
a snoop for like
The
notes.
book wasn't part of the plan.
Okay, it was like come in the room and see what you can find out. Snoop around.
Well, I mean, no.
No.
The plan was find out a list of every Aes Sedai who have left the tower.
No, that's after the fact.
That's after.
oh,
that's
it's
the
after
next
the fact.
scene.
Yeah, right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I take it
I
back.
have an issue though. So she says she has an eidetic memory, so she memorized what the handwriting looked like. But then she produces a paper.
No,
Is that a paper she wrote the 2 handwritings?
I
How could she reproduce the way the tremor looked?
I was very confused, and
I
I'm
was
all.
like,
I was
what's
very
going
confused.
on?
Yeah, because she says she has the eidetic memory, and then she produces the paper. So I'm like, okay, so did she copy it or she ripped it out of the book? And I was very confused.
She
and
can't
then
have ripped it out of the book.
and
That's
then-
like so
Copied it.
obvious.
and then we get the most mind-boggling moment of this episode. Maybe is how they go from shaky handwriting means the Black Aja existed or in the tower. It happens in seconds.
I don't care that that's the conclusion or what it is, but how did they get there? Like, why wouldn't you just assume like
Absolutely.
somebody forged it?
Because
Why
she
did somebody
remembers
forge
it.
it? No,
She
no,
says
no,
it.
it can't be that.
She
Why?
says
None
because
of you.
Sheriam remembers making the notation.
Does she?
She does.
She's like, oh, I don't know. To me, she was like, oh, I don't know.
She said,
like, it
"Oh,
was like
look,
she
it's
was
here."
covering-
No, she was
It
like,
was like
oh,
she was.
okay.
It was like she was covering because she was embarrassed. Either she doesn't remember writing it, or like when Varen says Shiriam said she remembered writing the note. She never said that she remembered writing the note.
I
She's
thought
like,
she
I don't
said
know
like,
how. I don't know how it slipped my mind. She never says I wrote this. but I don't like.
But she didn't say, "How is this here?"
Yeah, she
I
didn't say who
write
wrote
this.
who wrote this. She said
She
But
looks
like-
at it and she goes,
But I think she's covering because when Jaren walks in, she's like, "Oh, they're not here. I mean, they're doing their chores, whatever." And then she looks at the book and she's like, "Oh, wait, I guess I
So you
don't know
think
how I
she-
forgot that they left when they're not even supposed to leave."
yeah, how could you forget
big
that
deal
that
that
the
they left.
daughter heir of Andor, the most powerful channeler in 1,000 years, and Egwene
Went to a birthday party.
all went to a birthday party, and she's the mistress of novices, and 2 of those people are novices.
"So
But
I mean,
they're not allowed to leave.
they're not
And they're
allowed
not supposed to
well,
leave the
they're not-
tower.
Right? They're
Something's
I
up.
mean, they can leave with permission, but they're not allowed to leave on their own.
Okay, all right.
I want to be clear on that.
Yes.
And then
But I'm
2,
saying
like,
she would know this, right? She should remember this, I think is what the point was.
well, okay, yeah. So this goes in. We're leading into the conversation. I think we need to have
Yeah.
more
So
later.
I guess,
Alright.
Brendan, what
has
is
a
your...
point. Brendan had a point. I think.
Yeah, what is your take? Go
The
ahead.
sheer audacity of anybody in this fandom complaining about someone reading too much into lines of text is insane.
I agree.
Are you people kidding me?
It was such a quick jump, though. It was like
It is
shaky
it was the-
handwriting. The Black Ajah exists.
It was so.
I
I've
was-
never read a
I
detective
was like-
novel like that's just what happens.
It's usually
That's
a
how
little.
that's how
It's
they
usually
work.
more time and.
No, I feel like that was I remember with Brendan, that was a 100% representation of how the fandom of this series does anything with any scrap of information. Like, it was like this, and then I have an incredible theory. I also think
It wasn't a theory, though. It was more like this is facts now. That's
so.
what it was.
My take on this whole thing.
I can't believe you don't hear this, Joe.
I
can't
do
believe you
hear
don't
it.
hear
I
yourself.
do hear it. I do hear it.
like,
It was too
from-
much for
from-
me, though. I'm sorry.
So, if this,
Now
this
you
may
know how I feel.
this may help you,
We
I
gotta
think.
go quick because we gotta move on. We still got a lot more
So-
time in the
It's a
episode.
3-hour episode.
Varen's entire purpose for this Yasuka stunt was to get Yasuka to the point where she would buy into there's Black Aja. Like,
So you think
Varen
Varen
knows
the Black
already.
that the Black Ajah
And, like,
And-
I think
and is trying
Varen's
to
like,
get other
I've
people
got to
to
like start ringing the alarm in the tower, but I can't just tell people because no one would believe it. I've got to get somebody else to understand that this is a threat.
Okay.
Let me walk her to that point. Like, she
How
doesn't
did she
say it's Black
know
Aja.
that-
She's like, maybe it's compulsion. And then she's like, well, you can't, that's not, wait, are you saying? And like, that's it. I'll plant the seed. Just
It
plant the
also
seed.
isn't
What if
compulsion.
Shiriam was just like having a shaky? Maybe she was hungry or something.
By the way, there's no.
so many other
That's not
explanations.
how any of this works.
There's no.
Come on.
There's no oath that says you can't use compulsion. By the way, she says it's against the 3 O's when it's not. There's no oath. We've heard of 3 O's. None of them say do not use compulsion.
You're using the power to hurt. Like,
No,
hurt
not as a
someone.
weapon. You're not using it as a weapon
You're
to
taking
harm
over their
someone. No, she
You,
says she's
like-
harming her.
You
You're,
can't control someone else's actions. That's not.
Also, the oaths, I'm sorry, the oaths are bullshit anyway. You know, Leandrin just tosses them off when she doesn't feel like following them anymore. Everybody
Well, you're going to learn
lies
more about
all
that.
the time.
You're going to learn more about that,
and
Brendan.
it's the oaths. I'm fully
Yeah.
expecting to find out that the oaths are just psychosomatic at some point. It's all bullshit.
so we didn't get into the storyline yet.
But do we want?
But-
Okay. Do we
Sorry.
want to talk?
But there's an example of the oath still holding true in this episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely Maureen. It happens to Maureen a few times. We just need one last bit to talk about this on this storyline. Leandrin cleverly covers her tracks with asparagus.
That's so. It's,
Oh my God!
Call
That's
back to
how
Maureen's.
Maureen-
It's Maureen's. She covers her tracks with asparagus.
That's
That's how Maureen leaves tracks.
Oh my God!
We had-
Asparagus. They did that for us.
Yes.
There was a no, you were.
I remember. I remember.
Oh my
Uh,
God!
It was so like, oh yes, I have these white asparagus that only grow in that place.
Oh no!
you
Uh-oh, Brendan's frozen. Up here.
It's just-
Let's give
It's
him a
like-
minute.
Brendan's so passionate about this point that he just can't get it out.
Let's give him a minute.
okay, this
Let's see if he
episode,
catches
who I
up.
are doing a great job is Zach.
Oh,
Yeah, you
back.
froze up, buddy. We didn't
I'm
hear any
moving
of it.
again.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It said my no. I stopped because it said my internet connection.
Okay,
was
yeah, we didn't hear. When you started talking, we lost you.
Yeah, go back to what you
Okay.
were started to say.
Again, I thought Kate Fleetwood has been doing a great job as Leandra this whole time, especially this season. But you have to be such a good actor to be such a bad actor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Her
Like-
lying, yeah.
Like Leandrin's obviously full of shit. So obviously full of shit.
To us,
And
though.
it's amazing. No, to
No.
everybody.
To
Like
Varen.
it's so obvious.
You think
Everything
Varen's
she
onto
says.
her?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
She's like, oh yeah, that's only in that one place. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
What a great, like,
what
yeah.
a great cover story.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that convenient? I mean,
Yeah.
lucky.
Right. Yeah. She's like, oh,
Well-
you picked the place that only has. Oh, yeah.
Well, I have to ask
um,
the question: how did she get the asparagus then?
No, I'm saying.
No,
I think
I'm asking
Varen-
everyone the question. Like, where? I'm not denying that. I'm actually curious. Where did she get the asparagus from?
I think she had that. That
Somebody
was
had her.
that was her cover
shipped
story. Was you're going to go over here and get this thing that's in this place that I'm going to say I went. to.
Okay, so she had someone else go get it for her.
And then
Right.
she
Like,
killed
that's my
that
alibi.
person.
And that
We
person is
haven't-
now
I mean-
dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we haven't seen them this season, but we know Leandrin has goons. Like there are other Red Aja who work for her.
I think we
work with
saw
her.
another Red Aja in this season.
Right. And maybe it was the wagon driver.
and then she hands Leandrin the letter, an episode
Just
or two ago.
before we move on,
The
I want to
letter
say I know I said earlier that this episode was not quote unquote for me. However, as I said to Tom earlier on Twitter, librarian detectives who are also wizards, right up my goddamn alley.
Yeah.
Just absolutely fantastic work.
We just
show.
gotta get Tom in
Way to
here.
hook me. Way to hook me, even as you were kind of pushing me away at the same time. Just terrific.
You gotta love somebody who has. I think we mentioned this as well earlier today, but like you gotta love somebody who has like the infinite power of the cosmos at the beck and call, but brags about her memory. Like that's what's important. I have an eidetic memory. Okay, great. We can start fires with our hands,
Right.
Yes.
waving. Right.
Should we jump over to the Lanfear?
Sure.
And then we'll random Moraine as well. So, I mean, this is the beginning of the episode, right? We've got the whole Lanfear chasing the Moraine and Rand and them tricking her, and the poor stable or old man, I think he's credited as, gets his head blown.
But he's not even
Aw.
old.
They call that's who he's credited as, old
Wait,
man.
is that the guy
Yes.
Yes,
that
Stuart
in the
Kenneth Moore.
important scene at night
Yes.
Yep.
riding horse? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it was definitely something we remember.
He got his head blown
That-
off. I think he said like a memorable scene.
That was an amazing
Memorable
effect.
scene,
That
yeah.
was terrific.
It was
I
great.
Loved it. Did you notice how like?
Joe.
Oh, go ahead, Brendan.
No. I was going to say you mentioned a couple of stupid things happening, and I'm curious to see if one of the stupid things happening is in this part.
Well, there was definitely a thing I had a problem with. I literally
Okay.
paused it and said something to my wife during it. But before we get to that, no, let's just talk about it. Moraine just pulls the sword out, or whatever, the knife out, slashes the horse's throat, and I'm like, why didn't they just take the horse with them instead of killing it?
I guess it would have slowed them down.
No, people. That's actually better because then what they do is they switch off horses. When
I'll tell you, she is not thinking clearly. She is panicked.
She's just like,
She's
we
panicked.
gotta get out of here. Fucking starts
Right.
killing horses.
Kill the horses, let's go.
He also
Let's go.
says like almost the same line as in season 1. Like, we can't give her away to follow us.
How many?
So
How many throats is Moraine gonna slash this season?
Well, I was just going to say she's
Two so far.
She's got a taste for blood now. It's all downhill for her. This is the.
What is
this
that like?
the-
Is that blood? Yeah, that's horse blood.
It's a horse blood. Don't worry.
Kill- I killed a horse earlier.
This
This
is
is
There's
horse
also
blood.
possibly
This is demon blood.
this is
Yes.
Forsaken
It's
blood.
two different
This
bloods.
I don't know.
That's a rock.
Yeah, right.
I forgot. I went way even ahead of myself. Like before we even got to that part, Lanfear, right? Lanfear. I wanted to talk about that. I'm sorry. She's not dead. She gets these weird black things in her eyes. Oh, and then black stuff comes out of the ground and heals her up. Clearly
Yeah.
not the normal one power stuff that we've seen. I want to question, answer this or ask a question. Sorry. I want to ask a question to you, Brendan. What was this weird black stuff that went into Lanfear and healed her?
Venom symbiote.
Okay. That's what I thought you were
There you
going to say.
No, it's
No, seriously.
Kidding aside, I mean, I said the same thing about. I said the same thing when it went into Matt. It's that the shit from the dagger. I forget the weird name for it.
Oh yes. Okay.
Mashadar.
Yeah, there you go.
Mashadar?
Mashadar
Yeah.
power healing. Okay, cool.
That's
I
what
like
I
that.
thought it was.
I like how Lanfear woke up and was like still suffering the injuries until she healed herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
like gagging and like touching the like she still felt everything until
Yeah.
she healed it. That was
I
cool.
also like her first word is bitch.
Yes.
Like,
I like how she just dramatically walked out into a literal dark and stormy night like it was a Universal horror movie. It was amazing. It was just a great shot.
I feel like did she do that? Did she make it?
Yes, I imagine
Yeah,
she's like so pissed
Drama.
that she's just
I like how she asked the stable woman like about Rand, and you could tell that like she was like, oh, he seemed like in his own world or something like that, and you could see it in Lanfear's eyes like, oh, he still loves me. Like,
right. Like
he wasn't him. He didn't do it.
She comes right up to, but doesn't go over the line of being like a campy seductress villain.
Mhm.
Like she comes very close.
I think she gets to the line. I don't know, man.
Well, maybe maybe by the very end. But yeah, but she just it comes very close to like Batman 66 level Catwoman shit, and doesn't quite get there. Which is great in its own way. It's just not. This is not the time or the place.
yeah.
I do feel she's gonna pull a Lara Flynn Boyle from Wayne's World soon. Like, you're not careful, Rand.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose me.
Yeah.
I lost you 6 months ago when Moraine killed you twice, and then you got up.
She buys him a gun rack.
We get a couple of mention of the dreams here, right? Teller and Riyadh. Yay!
I'm sorry. Before we move on to that, Rand and Moraine outfox the most dangerous Forsaken with a gag that just barely would have worked on Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
She's following the horses.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
We'll just hide behind this rock.
She's following the horses. That was the plan. She's tracking the horses.
Yeah.
I would have. The thing that got me was that they were like 5 feet off the road,
and they waited 2 seconds.
Yes.
You have to come out.
Yeah. That's a trope. That is a trope.
Yeah, right.
If ever there was
said,
one.
yeah.
I wasn't going to bring it up. Like, I was like, this is kind of silly. Like, it's been done so many times before. And then she does another trope, like something that's been done before, right? With the stable woman, where she kind of like sews her mouth shut with the one power.
Yeah.
I won't talk. I know.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
I love how she seems to be so happy she can be evil now. Like, she's like, thank God. Oh my God, the stress.
Do you think let me
just sew this person's mouth shut?
Do you think when she was with Rand, like during those times, that she would like wander off and just be like Lanfear?
Just be evil somewhere in the
just to get it out of her system.
Just blowing up heads. Just
yes. So I'm sorry. We get a couple of mentions of the dreams, right? Lanfear says, "Oh, they're they're gonna have to sleep sometime." And the first time I heard that, I was like, "Oh, she means she'll make ground when they're sleeping." And then I realized, oh no, she means in their dreams, because Moraine then mentions it too. And Moraine's, their plan is like, we just won't go to sleep. And I'm like, well, that's a great plan. Haven't you seen Nightmare on Elm Street? No, clearly not. But basically the same thing as that. So I felt like there was a lot of horror movie elements to this.
Yes.
With the Michael Myers, Sean Chen chasing girls, and then this.
Well, they did that. I mean, they did that last season too with Rand and what's his name, that other guy, running from
Matt.
Fade.
Matt.
Yeah. There's a lot of horror. Yeah, he's not. I don't know. He's not an important character anymore. So,
So no, I was just gonna say we get a really awesome scene with Lanfear and Ishamael in Ishamael's dreams, I guess, where she's pretending to be Rand and he's ready to cuddle with Rand.
No, he knows it's her, and he's ready to cuddle with her.
I think he knows it's her.
He's just messing with her.
Yeah, I think he's
like they're in their pajamas. It's
they're
odd.
Yeah. They're both messing with each other that whole scene, and it's great.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it. Tom, you mentioned, I think, a couple of times already that they're just like, he's like, "Are you going to betray me?" And she's like, "Yes." And they're like laughing at each other. Like,
Right. I also like she's got a new haircut. Like,
yeah, what was that? I
Yeah.
That's what she really looks like.
that's what she looks like. The long hair was to ensnare him.
Okay.
Well, also that's in a
feminine.
dream.
Yeah.
That's true.
She can make
Not her
herself.
physical form.
Yeah, she can make
whatever
herself
she wants.
look like, yeah.
Maybe that's how she looked in the Age of Legends.
Maybe because she was pretending to be
excuse
Rand.
me.
Go ahead.
By the way, my prediction from last week was
Yes.
essentially confirmed.
You were right. She talks about her old boo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, Boo Bay.
Her
They
old
all
boo
were.
bay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want some bay?
I heard you channeled in the arches, Bay.
It's my favorite drop.
Oh god, I just thought Tom said it again. I was looking down.
No.
No.
I thought he just said it again.
Perfect. It was perfect. So this was a great scene. I loved everything about the scene. We got mention of other Forsaken, Moghedian. We've got the pronunciation for Moghedian for the show officially now on record.
And the boys.
Grendel and the boys. Yeah,
She didn't say Grendel though. She said like Grain. I think she said Graindel.
Grendel.
Something different about.
She hit the
that.
A hard in that.
Randall.
like a Shanchen, like Surat.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe she picked up the accent.
Randall.
We'll talk a little bit more about that, I think, after Brennan leaves, if we have any time.
And the boys. I love
Yeah,
that.
and we learned Ishamael's plan. I think this is where we finally get what Ishamael's plan is now, I guess, to use all of the four of the Edmondsfield Five against Rand, basically, is his plan.
Yeah, to break them or turn them.
Yeah.
So that he feels
he could break Rand.
That he has he can break Rand, yeah.
Yeah. So it's finally revealed what his plan is. 14 episodes. What are we at? 13 episodes into the TV show? It's there though.
Yeah, but for the first 9.5, he was still technically imprisoned.
That's true.
Sort of.
That's true.
And he also reveals like his broader philosophy, very Dana-like. I want existence to be over.
Yeah, break the wheel, which is
right.
Yeah.
And he says like, and I'm the only one of the Forsaken who
really wants
has the same goal as the Dark One. Yeah. Everybody else wants something else.
Yeah. That was a really cool scene. I like that scene. Getting a little bit of the bad guys having a conversation. We haven't gotten any of that yet really in this show. And you usually get those conversations a lot in TV shows, like more so in TV shows. So I was it made it feel more important and more special for me, at least.
What if Ishamael was Dana?
Okay.
No.
That would ruin Dana for me.
Okay. No, I mean it would ruin Dana for me too, but I'm just saying. The whole thing was a trick.
We meet.
No.
Look, if he was still trapped in the.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, fine.
The barons, what are they called again?
Oh, the blight.
Thank you.
The eye of the world, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We meet Maureen's nephew, Barthanes, who's going to marry Queen Galdrian.
So chill, so nice.
He's a pretty cool dude.
A little foppish.
That was another moment where I felt like Anver just like turned to the audience and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Barthanes Damodred." Yay!
Well, they did the thing
I
where
enjoyed the increased family dynamic here. Like,
yeah, I enjoyed that too. Like, there was all the concern, right? Moraine's really concerned that she's brought the destruction of the city upon them, which is pretty heavy stuff to drop on your older sister. Hey, I came back to town and the city's in danger, I think.
But I do like that she's like, you shouldn't have come.
Yes.
Like, and she's like, I know. Like, it was a very real thing. But I also like he's just like he's just so happy that his aunt is there. He's like, you should stay. Like, it's just like this, like this,
getting married.
Like, all of this heavy dramatic shit is happening, and like this person is just living his life.
Do you think she's got to be like you better not fuck up this wedding, Moraine? I tell you.
Yeah, 100%. But she's also like I love that. Anvir is one of my favorite characters of the season.
Yeah,
because like she keeps being better than what my expectations are.
Yeah.
I keep expecting her to like secretly be cruel or bad, but she actually just seems to actually be, she's political, I guess, but she seems to actually, I don't know, care about her sister and like give her good advice or.
Yeah. She just wants to hang out with her sister. She's her big sister and she looks up to her. So I got a question then. Is this wedding going to happen? Like, we don't necessarily have to see it on screen, but do you think this wedding's going to happen?
Hey. Well,
weeks away. So if we're going to see it on the screen, that's like a long time.
No, I don't.
I think that
it doesn't have to be on screen. Does the wedding happen?
What does he say is happening that she's not going to stick around for? There was the cake tasting?
Yeah, cake tasting or something. Yeah.
I think that's going to happen.
Okay, that wasn't the question though. So
the red cake taste.
Yeah, I feel like yeah. Let's put it this way, like
somebody give me an answer.
No, I don't think the wedding is going to happen. I think a lot of Moraine's fears about what she brought upon the city of Carrion are going to happen. There's a very, very angry Forsaken out there.
There's and there's some leaked footage too. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, it's I think Lanfear's going to come and lay waste to the area. We'll have to keep an eye out for that one. What else do I have here? I had your note. Brendan was right about Lanfear loving the Dragon Reborn. Oh, and then we get the end, right? So the plan then is to for Rand to actually go to sleep, pretend that he's still into Lanfear's.
He's a honeypot.
To find out what Ishi's plans are.
Yeah.
Is it going to work?
No.
Oh, I'm sure. He seems like such a good liar.
Yeah.
He kept it from everybody that he was the dragon. He knew he was the dragon.
It's true. Sometimes he can be a good liar. He lied in his job for a number of months before he got to meet with Logain.
That's true.
I'm very curious about what is going to happen. Lanfear looks like she's ready for a good time.
Yes. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait for that until the next episode. I think that's it, right? We got through the whole episode.
There's one thing I want to say. One last thing. There is not a doubt in my mind that at some point between season 1 and season 2, Rafe Judkins got a call from some executive at Amazon who said, "Hey, we gave you all this goddamn money for the Wheel of Time, and I didn't see a single goddamn wheel in that whole season." And Rafe was like, "Well, it's a metaphor. It's not really. No. We need a wheel."
Well, okay. I think
a big one, damn it,
a big one.
I think the representation of
that last scene
of the wheel in the dream is also a metaphor as well. So
I understand that.
Yeah,
but
it's just a book about a man and a fish. Sorry.
All right.
When we saw that shot, I was like looking for the nipple tassels, since that was like a very prominent
Lauren's
image on Twitter.
Tassels.
I was like, oh no, those were.
That's not real.
That wasn't part of the show. Those weren't added. We got predictions, right? From last week, Brendan, your prediction was right. You found out much sooner than we thought, because you said in episode. You thought in episode 8 we were going to find out.
Yes.
Okay.
I did say we were finding out.
We'll give you a point for that. What else? What else did we have?
Joe, we're going to find out Swan sent Logain to Carrion. None of that got mentioned at all.
Nope.
Jen, Farron arrives at the White Tower.
Yes.
Just 100% right. Tom, Lamb's going to go to Carrion again.
Nope.
The aptly named.
Not in this episode. All right. We got some predictions for the next episode.
Yes. Sure.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
I think Swan is coming to Kyrian in the next episode.
And it's not going to be good. I'm gonna my prediction is Matt and Min will be in the next episode.
Old.
My prediction is Matt and Min will arrive in Kyrian.
Oh, Joe, we forgot to talk about something. apparently. The Egwene.
I promised to talk about Egwene scenes with the
And the
Shanshan.
Shanshan? Which
Yeah, we
scene?
talked about it.
We talked about this. Not at any great length, but we did talk about them.
What, the collar?
She's having a bad time
Yeah.
this season.
Wow, you weren't paying attention, I guess. All right. Who else?
Let's see. I will say you are going to. What are we gonna do? I think in the next episode you will meet more Aiel.
Okay. Well, we know there are two
Okay.
other ideal casts, so that's a good
Yeah.
guess. Jen?
Said mine.
Oh, you said yours? I'm sorry.
Juan comes to Kyrian.
Oh, Brendan. Sorry.
Yes. Something will finally go Egwene's way.
Oh,
I will tell you, I will bet very much against. I don't think things are going to get better for her
I don't
where
think so
she's
either.
at right now.
Maybe at the very, very end of the episode, but in the episode.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
all
we'll do
right.
that.
I'm not saying she's going to have a good time. I'm just saying.
Seems to be going well. It's really, builds character.
I lost my leash.
Let's
Sure.
let's give our ratings now here.
All right.
I'll go first. I'm
Oh.
ready. I'm ready for this.
Okay.
Despite some of the stupid things that were in this episode, like the putting of the girls down by the tree, and
Oh boy, that's the new cave camp.
yeah, that's a whole big one for me. It's so stupid.
I think it's just.
How
I think
far
that
were
can,
the girls from the
I
Shanshan
think-
army?
I
Too
think that
far.
can just be chalked up into poor decision making by characters, not.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As-
No, I don't,
Sorry, well, whatever.
No, the scene was written that way so that they
Yeah.
could have their conversation and the girls could.
All right.
get away. Besides that, and then the extraordinary leap from shaky handwriting to existence of Black Ajah, I thought it was a really good episode. They had it like Avienda was cool. We got the scene between Lanfear and Ishamael, which was really awesome. Anything Shanshan has been really good. I'm gonna give this episode a 4.25. 4.25.
Oh wow!
Come on.
4.5.
Yeah.
4.5.
4.5?
4.5.
Okay.
And
Wait, is that what we're doing? 4.2. I was going to give it.
Quarters.
quarter.
We've done
Quarter.
quarters.
Quarter.
All right.
I will
So it's
also
really
like.
like a scale of 20.
I will also like to say one last thing too. I did watch the previous episode again, and I think I was a little hard on it, and I would score it higher this time around, just to say that.
Not allowed.
But I'm not gonna.
Too bad.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Okay, who else goes next?
I didn't have. I thought I knew the one thing. I didn't even know what the other thing was, because Joe had mentioned to me beforehand that there were two things that he felt were like really odd. So I knew about the one thing. I agreed. I thought that was really just weird and like
The
okay.
girls.
I don't care. This was my favorite episode of the season. It's close, but because I've liked every episode of the season a lot. On the second watch, it was better than the first time, which is very rare for me on anything.
I caught a bunch of things. They would like 3 or 4
Wow,
things that
man.
I caught on the second
Wow.
watch.
4-5.
Thank you.
You cut him off right when he was going to say
I wanted to make it dramatic because it got me excited.
Jen,
I want to say 4 or 5. It's really good. It's good, but I'm like scared to go that high, but I'll do it. 4.5,
This is your highest rated episode,
which
then?
is it might be. I don't know. What is my rating for episode 3 of
It's so,
season
yeah,
1
it's your highest rated episode of the season by
of the season?
by
Yeah.
0.25.
All right. I think that's good.
Brandon.
Yeah, I guess I would say 4.5 too.
Really?
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa! First time we're unanimous, right?
There, yeah, it's
We
the
all
first time
said
we're
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Yes. This never happened before.
We were close last week, and then I ruined it.
We were very close.
And I would not think. I'm sorry, just the way that we've rated these things, and as harsh as we have been about odd shit, all of us, I would not think we would be unanimous with a great score.
So this
That
was
is remarkable.
Yeah, so this is weird, right? I think it's the second episode, Brendan. I think that you said there was a lot going on, but not much happened. In this episode,
Yes.
there was a lot going on and a lot happened.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting really
and-
good.
Yeah.
Don't joke. It is good already, but it's like it just keeps getting better. I
Yeah.
feel like
It's
I
been
don't
really
know.
good.
I saw my sister Veronica last week, and she gave up on the first season after I think like episode 5 or 6, and I didn't bother trying to talk her back into watching it. But I was telling her about how it's been going so far this season, and I said and I meant it's like it's a different show.
Yeah.
It's like it's a completely different, much better show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to like get
it
through the
does.
first season, which we liked, but in comparison, this
Yeah.
is like
I mean, it's
Way
the
better.
books are like that too. Like the first book is
Yeah.
is a really good book, but it's a little slow. And then like the second book, it starts picking up a lot. So I guess I don't know. Maybe it was planned that way.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
they didn't plan for the first season to be not as great as they can
No,
make
it
it.
wasn't.
I don't
No,
think
I
so
think
either.
they're very clear. They've been very clear in a lot of interviews that they feel like they got dealt such a bad hand making that first season with so many things that went wrong. This is what they could do, and they're saying. I mean, this can be pressed, but they're saying like, and like the third season's just going even better. It makes me very, very excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited to find out what's going to happen in these like last 3 episodes.
Last 3 episodes.
Specifically like the last episode and actually the last 2. So yeah, Brendan, thank you for joining us. We kept you here a little longer than
All right,
usual,
guys.
but there was a lot to talk about in this episode.
Yeah,
so.
this was a doozy. All
right.
right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a
Thanks.
good-
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta fix your thing. Hold on, don't talk because I'll play my music. Let me fix the video. I forgot about that part. Okay. All right, and we're back to talk about some spoilery things. So if you haven't read the books, turn off the episode. Sorry.
oh boy, definitely turn it off.
I know it's
All right, we gotta just do rapid fire because we've been talking for like 18 hours.
Shariam
I know.
And Varen.
Um,
Either are they like both black and they're trying to like
No, they don't know that
Not-
each other's black. Oh, well,
I know,
No,
but
no.
are they
Does
both, like,
Varen know? Does Varen know that
No.
Shiriam's black? Because remember, Varen
No.
has the list of all the black Aja that she's been creating.
it's possible, but I do think.
Does she
I
know
do
that
think
Leandrin's
that-
black? Is that why she's leading towards? Is that why she makes that
Yes.
stupid leap? Is because
Yes.
she knows
is
that maybe
I don't-
Leandrin or Shiriam is black Aja.
I don't think she suspects Shiriam. I think she believes that Shiriam was compulsed.
Okay.
but Shariam could I don't know. I was more like why couldn't it just be that Leandrin wrote in the book and copied her handwriting? That's as bad as the
because
compulsion.
Shiriam would know that she didn't write it and be like, somebody
Yeah.
wrote this. I didn't write
Right.
this. Somebody
Shiriam
forged my.
reacts like almost embarrassed that she doesn't
right,
remember
but
that.
I don't
and
think
confused.
she wrote it.
I think
I
she
think
did.
she's like covering for herself.
No, I think she was compelled. I think exactly what Varen said happened. I think Leandrin used compulsion.
Compelled, really.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
use
Brian's listening, it's compelled.
I know. Sorry, Brian.
Compulsionized.
She,
She's been compulsionized.
she's been compulsivated. Compulsion was used on her by Leandrin to write in the book. I don't think Leandrin. I think Shiriam is still going to be black, but I don't think Leandrin knew that she was black Aja.
Right.
And that makes sense.
None of them know that each other is.
Varen's
black.
got to know
That's
that one of them is black. She's
Right.
got the notebook.
I think
Well, see,
Varen-
once she confronts Leandrin, she's like not buying.
You're
any of
clearly
that.
lying. You're
Yeah,
clearly,
like you're a liar.
Yeah.
I think she
Yeah.
knows that Leandrin's black.
Yeah, she has to. Do you think she knew beforehand or she knows now?
I think she know. I don't know. That's the thing. Like I said, she has that book in the books. She has the notebook with a list of all black Aja.
You've seen the notebook in the show. The notebook has appeared in the show.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have to believe that she's got a lot of the black Aja names already down, and she's got to have at least one of those two.
I mean, Leandrin's so clearly a black Asha. She's
I
not
know.
even like it's not even like it's so easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, sorry.
First, right away, the first thing you see in Falm, they pan up and show the sky above Falm, and
Yes.
then later on, Turok says, or rather, Ishii says, like it'll be
Shaman
written
says.
in the sky. I'm gonna win it in the sky.
Could it be like a plane writing it with like
I think it's.
cloud letters?
I can't believe they're setting up an actual fight in the sky. I mean, maybe it'll be a metaphor, but it really looks like they're setting it up.
It's going to be a
Both
rap
shots
battle.
of Falm are like they show you the city and the sky. Now it could be like, hey, they're gonna fight like on the top of buildings or whatever, but I think it's gonna be that. That's awesome. I want to set this up because this is not something that happens in the books, but it looks like they're setting Turok up to be here's a gift to you of Egwene. Like Turok is like vocally confirmed to be fighting for the light, like believing in the light's cause. He's surrounded by dark friends, and I feel like part of what they're doing is setting up, in case it goes bad, he's the guy who's going to get blamed by Rand. He's going to have Egwene. He's going to be the one, like everything's pointing at him, and Soroth is going to have cover.
That's layers and layers
really
deep, man.
I thought it was really clever that like there's plans there that aren't vocalized, but I think that the show is telling you are happening, and I thought it was really, really well done.
Is Ingtar undercover as a slave dark friend? Because Ishamael obviously knows he was at the dark friend. No, like
Ishi knows.
Ishamael knows.
Oh, Ishamael definitely knows.
Social. So why is he like working as a slave, like for the?
Did you say
put him there?
Yes, that's what you're asking. Is Ishamael plant him there?
Right, because they don't have Nasima there.
Well, I was going to say, did Soroth plant him there? Because she's a dark friend too. Does she know?
Well, whatever,
he's a dark
but they're
friend?
both there. They both know that, like,
possible
he's a dark friend. So something's.
I don't know.
He can be.
Because he's not. Like everything could. I feel like everything's up in the air.
He's clearly a dark. From his conversations early on, he's clearly a dark friend.
He's a dark friend.
Like you should maybe he's got a good reason.
Yeah, I know.
Right, but
maybe he's just misunderstood. He didn't really say that.
But I think
like Patton Fane should have given him a fist bump when he walked by.
What's up, bro?
I love his look. Like this fucking guy. Like he couldn't. And I think that I think the possibility like he's gonna get an instruction to like kill Perrin or kill Loyal or something like that, and like that's gonna be his like I can't do it moment.
Like
and that's gonna be
Shamael's gonna activate a sleeper cell.
Not even activate, just be like you're like they're gonna reveal like, hey, this is what you've got to do. Like they're gonna like you're gonna get revealed that he's a dark friend before he admits it to Perrin or whomever. And like,
oh, you think so? You don't think
he's gonna? I think he's gonna get, or maybe that's part of the reveal. Is like I was told that I have to kill you. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like whatever. I won't make that sin again. That sort of a thing. But yeah, I thought that was. I thought all the stuff there in Falm was like filled with things.
Did you see the Dakavale?
Yeah.
They were wearing like the white kind of sheer. I saw it again on my second watch. Again, I saw it in that scene with Turok. They like kind of
wearing a see-through outfit.
There was a whole line of them in the background.
Not Loyal and
yeah.
No, there were other people dressed like that.
Oh, I gotta look.
Yeah, I noticed it on my second watch.
insane. What's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe that was just something like a throwaway line.
Is that a character change or is that just like some shade? Because Mogedion, in some ways, is the sanest of the Forsaken.
Yes, I like her and like,
she acts like a rational person.
Yeah,
like,
her, Asmodean and her are probably the two sanest people. Like, if you want to say something, who's the insanest Forsaken? Is it? I mean, it was Ishamael.
It's Ishamael, yeah.
Although he's not insane in the show.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Ishi's by far the craziest, and then probably Semiraj or Balthamel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Balthamel.
Like Balthamel's like freaked up. Semiraj has got problems. Like
yes,
like the two of them are up there. But like Ishi's like cackling madman insane.
Yeah.
By the end.
So Lanfear healing. She was using the true power, right?
True power.
Do you think that was her channeling it herself, or like the dark one, like healing her?
I think it was her.
Okay, that's what I thought too. I just didn't know. Like, some people were, because some people thought that a lot of people were saying that she died and that was the dark one bringing her back. And
I don't think so. She had the saw.
She did, exactly. She had the saw, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode. Like, she wouldn't be able to use the one power to heal herself, and I don't remember, or if they even address like if the true power can be used to heal yourself. But at least in the TV show, we know you can. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
a lot of people probably didn't.
Barthanes. Dark friend?
Yes, is he a dark friend? And,
Yes, he's a
I
dark
think
friend.
so.
and that
I think
He's
he's a
too
dark.
nice.
and
He's
I
too
think it's
nice.
all gonna be an act.
the queen is dead by the end of the season, right? Am I?
They're all dead. I still think everyone in Thanos' man is gonna killed. I think they're gonna go to the tasting and like
You think
everyone's gonna
Anvair is
die.
gonna die?
yes, I
Oh,
think Anvair
I
is
don't know
gonna
Anvair.
die.
Oh.
I think like I'm wrong about Thane. I don't think Thane's gonna be there, but yes, I still think like it's Death City at that place.
Yeah,
And,
the queen is not making it to the end of the season.
Uh,
She's getting
yeah,
killed.
she's got
whether
it, but like, I think
Thanos
they're gonna
kills
kill
her
everybody.
or
Yeah.
I wonder if she's gonna be like incredibly old,
oh,
like
Yeah.
crotchety old, because she was like, "Oh, this is like," she's like, "Oh, I hope it's a match made or good match,"
Yeah.
or, and she was like, "No, this is political." So
Yeah.
I hope she's like,
Because they played up like he's very young. I'm
Yeah.
even more convinced now that Haley Mills is playing.
yeah, but like
the queen.
crotchety old.
I don't want to be crashing. I want to be doddering old, like
Okay.
not even like
Yeah.
just not.
like old Lopan.
Yes, like old Lopan.
Totally.
And yeah, and they're gonna. Everyone's dying. Yeah,
that's my
even
prediction
know-
for the end of the season that the queen's gonna die. Queen
I
Galjian.
think that's episode 7. Is everyone dies?
Oh,
and
Dice
then they leave.
Damar. That's Dice
Yeah.
Damar, that episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
go to
then-
that beach.
That's them leaving. They're gonna go to a different waygate near Falm and then go in. And presumably Matt and Min will just be with them. It's fine.
Yeah, they all go
Um,
together. I don't know. Mogetti and Grendel and the boys. Does this mean the other 4 Forsaken are all boys, or is there going to be? Someone said there are 4 female statues, so maybe they just didn't mention one of the other female Forsaken. And I think people were saying that Lanfear and Semiraj didn't get along well. But
yeah,
my
they
thought
hate
is,
each other.
That's so like I just assumed what the ones she said are the ones we're getting.
I think
don't know.
Moghedien. There's people who believe Moghedien's going to appear in this season before the season is out.
we think so. We have her as one of the actors.
Yes,
we're gonna talk about
yes,
that.
we
in a
are
That
little
one
some
bit.
of those
actress
people.
that hasn't been in it
Yeah,
yet.
like Costa, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I think they specifically named Forsaken. They are 100% positive will appear. And hey, maybe we're gonna call Samael Raven because that's a cooler name. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he's still gonna be that guy. He's short, but whatever. That they're giving themselves options to not name as many as possible. That's my take on that. And like that's part of it. Like, and Jordan, they do it in the books, and Jordan in his interviews made consistent reference to the fact that like you can't trust anything a Forsaken thinks in their own heads, specifically when they're talking about other Forsaken,
Yeah.
because they constantly put them down to make themselves feel better about themselves.
Well, I'm just saying the existence of this. She wouldn't mention names of people that didn't exist.
No, they think we've
But,
locked into.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and I don't know. But like I don't know about the Semiraj thing. Part of it, like Lanfear always wears white, and Semiraj always wears black. People say because she hates Lanfear so much, she dresses opposite, right? But Lanfear wears black a lot in this episode.
Yeah, I was I was a little sad. I was waiting. I wanted to see like a beautiful white flowy dress on her.
No, instead you got
Yeah.
like I said, you got Frankenfooter.
Yep,
And Brenda's like,
Frankenfooter.
oh, she like edges right up to the. I'm like, she jumps over the camp line 100% at the end of this episode.
Yes. Yes.
And like we saw some photos like in some of the trailers and behind the scenes stuff that they released in between the seasons about like that thing. We couldn't tell whether that was part of the throne or a headdress, but looking at it now, it's the flame of Tar-Valon and the dragon's fang. Like instead of as a circle,
symbol
they're
of the Aes
inverted
Sedai.
to be a
okay.
moon shape, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Okay.
And that's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a
yeah.
question here. I'm gonna get a little serious with this one. Are we getting Gaul? I mean, this
No.
is Avienda. This is exactly how Perrin meets Gaul, and
Yeah, but Avienda can't stay with Perrin
We're not getting
after the
Gaul.
season.
I mean, if they do have Gaul, how does it work? Does he meet Gaul and Falm, and Gaul goes back with him to the Two Rivers, and that's how they
No,
become
Gaul's
buddies?
not in the season.
No, he
No,
could
if
be
we're-
in the next season. Like,
Yeah, he could go with Banachia. They could all go with him back to Two Rivers. We talked about the fact that you can introduce him at the beginning of season 3
yeah,
Yeah,
as
it's
just
different.
a guy who goes with Perrin, and like that's how you meet him, and
Yeah.
then they become friends after that. But
I'm sure a lot of people are worried. Like just watching the scene, I was like, this is exactly how Perrin meets Gaul.
Like Gaul's cool, and I like Gaul, but like
he's the best. We did this on the show. We voted on it.
I don't think
he's the best like wingman character. Like
I don't think
in the
they
series.
Won. I thought Lan and Moraine won. The pairing, the duos.
No, yeah, I think he won because they did everything. I'm pretty sure we gotta go back
for the show. Like,
yeah, I don't have the scores in front of me.
I don't know.
Gaul,
let's just make Bane and Shiad be in a relationship, and just we don't even need.
That's fine. That works. Whatever. You don't need to have like. There's a lot of mirroring between those two relationships. Between Perrin and Fail and Gaul and Bane and Shiad or whatever. But like, I said Perrin and Fail and Barrelane, who I also don't know if we'll have on the show or not. But
I'm more sad about that if we lose Barrelane.
I mean, I am too, probably not for the same reason, but Gaul is so awesome in these books, and I don't know if he'll be on the show. And Brendan's pointed out too, the show already has almost too many characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the series, like.
Well, some of the characters
like triple the main characters that we've already met that have to appear in the show, and it's really going to be tough to kind of
some of these
carry
all
of that
gone by the end of the season. So, yeah, that's all I have for spoiler stuff. Does anyone have any other spoiler things they wanted to touch on before we
think so
wrap it up?
There was something with the White Cloaks, but you made fun of me so much about it that I don't remember what it was anymore.
Was it about Dane or was it about other White Cloaks? It's about Dane. We don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no, I don't remember exactly what it was. I really don't. There was something we were talking about. I'm like, I can talk about that later. And all I can think about is your mocking laughter because I enjoyed the character of Dane Bornhold so much.
I like that he called him Two Rivers. And I hope he continues to call him Two Rivers for the rest of the time.
There was a lot of man crushing going on, Tom.
Well, I would say this. We talked about this before, like when we were just talking about Dane and whatnot, about how like he's got a bad rep amongst the fandom, and I don't understand why. Like I love Dane the character in the books. I think he's a very conflicted, interesting character.
Yeah, he is.
And like I was like, oh, good. Like I think they set him up the right way here. Like to be somebody that you're going to be like, you're going to be invested in like where he's at and where his head's at. But now I will say this, Jen, I am more convinced that you're right that Perrin might just kill his dad. And like that's it.
Well, that's the interesting thing.
Already embarrassed. There's already enough there because Dane was like nice to him. He brought him in the town. He was doing his best.
Perrin didn't kill him. Perrin saved his life.
He didn't kill him, but he embarrassed him by freeing the Aiel and destroying all his men and knocking him. It's still it's bad. It's not as bad. If he killed him, then there's no conflict because he's dead. But he embarrassed him, and now people are going to say, was Dane like in charge of all those guys?
Well, this is
and Dane goes, what? He asks like, "What are you?" Because he sees Perrin's eyes glowing yellow. Yeah. So there is going to be that like.
That's exactly what Volda says to him in the first season.
Yeah, there's going to be a conversation, and Volda's going to be like, "That's the guy."
Volda's going to be like, "I was sleeping. What happened? I missed everything."
In the books, though,
I was in another fight on the other side of town, and I won that one.
So that's that. Okay, so I want to say one thing and then bring up Volda again. But in the books, you don't see like it's not like Dane's a nice guy, then he becomes crazy and bad, and then he becomes good again. When you first meet Dane, he's already like an asshole jerk off.
Yes, the first time you meet him is a jerk.
Yeah.
But when you meet him again at the Two Rivers, like he's set up as like Fane hates him because he's good.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you first meet Dane as like a real character in Shadow Rising, like Fane's trying to kill him all the time.
Yeah, but he hates Perrin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're giving more conflict to the villains on the show than
I
like
feel...
Leandrin and Dane. Like I'm waiting for
Leandrin. Dane's not a villain. Dane's not. I don't consider Dane a villain though. In the,
you know what I
mean
books. Though, like the antagonist.
He's an antagonist.
So like instead of just being like angry and right off the bat, he was
Yeah.
trying to be nice
They
and
were
normal.
trying to establish that
and
he's a
this
nice
is what he
guy.
gets for his niceness and normalness,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Is Valda going to be a Blade Master? Like, Valda seems like a big pussy.
No, I
no,
don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
So we're not going to get the Valda Blade Master, and
No.
I don't know what's going to go on with that storyline.
I don't know if Galad's going to be on the show.
Yeah, didn't they cast
Yes, he is.
Galad? We already know
they
who
cast
Galad's
it,
going
that's
to be.
right.
We don't know if
That's right.
Gowan's,
And-
well,
Gowan
Gowan's
was-
mentioned.
Gowan was
so.
His
mentioned,
name day
but-
ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all
Gowan
right.
blowing out the candles with a little hat on.
Looking like such a jerk.
Why did
Gowan
they
was
come
cool in the
to that?
beginning of this, in the first book, and then not so bad in the second. All right. Should we wrap it up here?
Yeah.
Jen,
Chad's like,
I think we have a new patron
Almost.
to thank.
Oh, you should have warned me beforehand. Give me 1
Oh,
minute.
come
Damn it. We have a new patron for reals. Let's see if it shows up on mine. Yes, we do. Joining the Illuminators Guild, please welcome Dan Durgeon.
hey, Dan.
Oh, thank you, Dan. Welcome.
Thank you, Dan, for your support. And to all of our patrons, thank you so much. We really could not do it without you, and we love you guys.
Thank you all from the bottom of our
reals.
hearts. Oh, I like that one, for reals. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so check out our YouTube page and like and subscribe there. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Any last thoughts, feelings that you'd like to share?
Next week is going to be another doozy for poor Egwene.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes-
Brad's prediction is dead wrong.
Yeah.
Eyes without pity.
Shana Tova to everyone who celebrates.
Ah, yes, it's Rosh Hashanah, right?
Yeah.
That reminds me too. I didn't get to say this before, or I forgot about it, but I thought like this episode shouldn't have been called Damane. I feel like the next
Right.
episode should be called Damane, because that's where
I
you're going to get
agree.
Egwene as a Damane.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could have called this episode Eyes
I-
Without Pity.
I think whatever, like, not that my predictions were right ever, but like my prediction for the episode called Damane was it ends with her being collared. And like that's where it's at.
Yeah. I had it the other way. I had it like she gets collared at the end of an episode, but then the next
Right.
episode was Damane. So I was way off with that. But all right. Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.